my mind, closed my eyes, left me here crying. How could I have thought you were in love with me? You stripped me of my everything.
What's up, world? This is Steve Jackson, a.k.a. Stack 5. You are listening to Mo Sports Talk down in Dallas, man. We getting it in, man. Stay tuned and keep your ears locked.
Down, down, down. That's it. There's a feeling, angels moving around me. I just worship thee for all he's done for me. It's a new day. I have been born again. I've been born again. I've been born again. In his spirit and his name, I'm sanctified. Lord, I testify. He's right by my side. I believe in me. His word is so clear to me. Yeah.
Yeah, man. He did all that for a 42 and 40 team.
Good evening.
Yeah.
What's
okay.
up, y'all? Mo Sports Talk.
No one cares. Daryl Armstrong.
So we count him too?
Hold on, Darryl Armstrong did a layup in the dunk contest.
The original DA?
Drew Gooden is on this team.
Yeah, come on.
He has a ducktail, so he's about. And plus he's
Former
part of
Kimball
coalition.
Knight Gerald Sasser
Yeah.
And former sock
was on
Right.
this team.
Tony Butti was on that squad too.
Lord.
Tony Butti not on this squad.
He was on one of them magic
Not-
squads
well,
with
not
T.
on
Michael
this-
Dolak on that squad?
Who?
Michael
Michael
Dolak. He's a lefty. Where
Nope.
is he?
Nope.
Pat Garrity?
But he played in Orlando with T Mac.
Pat Garrity, Gordon Girasek, Chris's favorite, Horace Grant,
Hey.
Ho Grant.
Grant Hill, Stephen Hunter, Sean Kemp,
Moog, stop editing Stephen Hunter, okay? He's not a 99 overall.
Mike Miller,
This is young Mike Miller.
Jacques Vaughn, and Chris Whitney.
Coach Jacques Vaughn, by the way. Oh.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, man.
We are
For a 42 and 40 Orlando Magic team.
What he did with that team is, I mean, I guess you consider that not bad then. Cause
you caught us upon we're naming
go. Let's see.
what year was that? For Orlando?
This is the 2002-2003.
That was 2002-2003 season when T-Mac averaged, 32 a game?
yes.
With the 32, 5, and 6?
Yeah.
The great T-Mac. That's
Right,
not
man.
good. Let's not forget,
Hey,
y'all.
but T-Mac had shooters. Garrett, Pat Garrity, he had Mike Miller.
If he would have had Vin Baker on his team, see,
Hold
you
on.
know,
So let me think about
Yeah,
this.
say T-Mac had shooters, though.
Dwight had better shooters than him. If you want to use that logic.
Gordon Gilchrist.
Not better than
Pat Garrity,
None
Mike
of those guys
Miller.
you gonna name are better than Edu Turkoglu when he was there.
But he had shooters, though.
Yeah,
Still going to give him fast first round.
Yeah, well, and supposed to be the best player on the team when he was playing. There you go. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, y'all. How you go from like 15 points a game being off the bench in Toronto from just being like just this great player?
Okay, let me ask you this then. If Grant Hill was healthy, do you think he'd still be putting up the same up? Really?
Grant Hill wasn't the guy that, like, although he dominated the ball, I think D.A. Macon could account for this. He wasn't the guy that was needy enough to take like 15 or 20 shots. He could do other things on the court that would have been like I'm not going to say the guy's name that has to require a certain amount of shots, but there's things like to get him going, he has to have shots. Like Grant Hill was like a guy that can get you a triple-double. Like when he was in Detroit. He had many nights where he had 19, 10, and like 12. But he had some nights when he had 30. It just, I think with Tracy, man, I don't know how that would have been in that front court, but yeah. You're going to have to really argue me about Dwight. I think Dwight, for what he did at his age, the defensive numbers he put up, those things like that were great. But as Tony Kornheiser, Peter Vesey always tell you, you only evaluate about who you played against. And I'm looking at who Tracy went against. He went against arguably two of the best 2 out of 3 best shooting guards of all time.
What about this work Vin Baker about to put over here on on Duncan and Robinson? Though?
Is that the Jordan brand Vin Baker?
I bet it was. Look at that jump, baby. Look at that jump.
Yeah, look at that jump. You see it?
He like, you know what? Why they always put people like him and like Grant Hill like on like what was that show? Living Single.
Yeah, Living Single. Then Vin Baker was on Jamie Foxx show.
What is Vin ranking into like power forwards? Is
Don't
he
do
like
that.
top 15?
I'm not having that.
So
today.
Dave,
all time?
Yeah.
Go away.
So you do not want to see Vin Baker in the NBA Combine, Veterans Combine.
You all kidding me, right?
Come on.
Hold on. You don't see Vin.
You don't see Vin Baker
Vin
make
has
that
a gold
comeback?
medal, sir. Vin got some all-stars,
Yes.
sir. Hey, he had his own signature shoe, man. Once you get that far, there ain't too many dudes out here getting a Jordan shoe. I don't know, Jordan
Vin
look-
Baker has
you know
a
what?
Jordan shoe.
Man, say hello to the people, man. I'm about
Which Vin
to.
Baker we gonna take? Milwaukee?
Yeah. Ain't like Seattle one.
Hey, he was an all-star Seattle.
That's when everything started going downhill from then.
Just like Shaq.
13 NBA Shaq, man.
He gave 17 and 8, shot 60% from the field.
But it didn't seem like he did though.
It don't care what it see. I don't care what it seemed like, Kendall. The stats tell a story, man. He gave you
here we go,
17 and
the
8 in 75 games.
17 that. Okay.
Let's look at Vin Baker, 4-time All-Star.
He had a double-double season.
Yeah, let's see that fadeaway.
Multiple.
Yeah, multiple.
Wait a minute. You said he had a what?
Multiple double-double seasons.
Man, Vin Baker,
Vin Baker?
17 and 10 in 94, 95.
Yeah.
21 and 10
Yeah.
in 96, 97 for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Hey, that's hey. Could you imagine if like Ray, if he'd have stayed in Milwaukee
Don't. We don't want to do that.
with the dog himself?
Here you want to play who was on that squad? All right, let's go. I'm going we're going 96, 97 Milwaukee Bucks. Who averaged went 33 and 49 by the way in the
Yeah, they wasn't good.
in the East. You got a roster member for us? Come on, give me one roster member not named the usual suspect.
Okay, what squad is this?
96, 97 Milwaukee Bucks.
96, 97 Milwaukee
We all
Bucks.
know Glenn Robinson
Ben Robinson, Ray Allen.
and Ray
Okay.
Allen. Okay.
That went on that team.
Ray for Austin.
No, he was still.
No Rafer, no Skip Rafer.
Todd Day.
Oh no,
No Todd Day.
Todd Day was like
Hey,
94, 95.
Chris, we got promos playing in the background.
No, the fun.
I just got a text saying that there are promos
All right, well, I'll make sure.
playing in the background. No, no, you give up.
Go ahead.
Todd Day played for Milwaukee.
Yes.
Okay.
He had a flat top. I would have to know that.
Come on now, Live 94, Live 95.
You remember that?
The cream.
Former
of-
UNLV great Armand Gilliam.
Ew.
Ugh, number 10, right?
Oh my goodness, what?
Rest in peace. Is he?
No.
No, he's not.
Okay. I'm watching Vin Baker put work in over here. Okay?
I'm telling y'all, man.
Hey, Ruben
And then
Patterson.
Ruben Patterson.
Kobe stop him,
Yeah. Speaking of some good 2000 basketball,
Oh goodness, really?
Hey.
you gonna try to sell us on Ruben Patterson now too?
you remember like that one game when he was in Portland when he had like 40 that time? Remember that? I'm just
Vin
saying.
Baker throwing oops. See? Ruben, see?
Yeah, tell me that one. Hey, I'm just saying.
Sherman Douglas and Chucky Brown also on the 96, 97
Flat
Milwaukee
top Sherman
Bucks.
Douglas, by the way.
I bet it was a flat chop.
Flat chop.
Sure.
This one,
It was
Vin Baker had a
flat
fade.
chop.
This one, Vin Baker had a fade too, by the way. I guarantee you that.
But good evening. This
did.
is most sports
He had a
talk.
fade.
He had the fade with the part down.
Who?
Vin Baker. You don't remember that?
I do remember that.
I think he did.
Okay.
This may be the Vin Baker we thinking about. Y'all forget, man. Hey, when you start looking at these numbers, then you start thinking about like when every time I bring up somebody, I tell Diego look at the numbers. Oh shoot!
cut it
Like
out.
just like I'm gonna tell you this. Go look up Kiki Vandeweghe numbers.
We don't.
Oh, I know about Kiki's numbers.
Get away.
At
Go
a point in
away.
time, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Jermaine O'Neal has some
And
good
speaking of
numbers.
the gold medal, there's a story that he tried to sell it last year. He's going to auction it.
Well, he
Vin?
probably got no choice.
Why not? He can't like being a member of Team Jordan and as cracked up as he used to be.
Nah, man.
He ain't got a collection to sell. You
I'm
mean to
pretty-
tell me
he-
that there ain't 1,000 other people like Chris that wouldn't line up for Vin Baker's PE Vault collection?
Maybe he already sold them.
He burned him. Well, his house, Fade to Black, his house did burn down. So
Dang, is that dang, not a collection too.
he's not even a coach anywhere, is he?
Who Vin?
don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I know last time I heard him, he
about
got
it
in
then.
trouble.
We would have heard about it by now.
He got in trouble last time I heard about his name. So Vin's one of those guys that get forgotten in that time.
Started the show talking Vin Baker.
Vin Baker.
There's a lot of. I'm telling you, man. When we go back and look at these numbers,
Which,
I mean, look at him do work now.
would you be shocked if I told you Jeff Hornacek at one time averaged 23, 24 points a game?
No.
All right.
All right. Hit the reset button. Come back. Dave and Chris' favorite segment is next. Got sports history and birthdays. Most Sports Talk. THAfterparty.com on the A side.
Hey, this is Peter Vesey, a.k.a. The Viper. Thanks to Hubie Brown. Thanks, Hubie. You're listening to Mo's Sports Talk.
Down, down, down. That's it.
Reset.
Yeah. It will be
baggy
said.
jerseys.
Baggy jerseys, the headbands,
That's one of the
the
one
long
sock.
sleeves,
The one long sock.
the disappearance of the knee pads.
I'm glad that went away.
What?
Why? I mean, maybe
You hate on the knee pads, dude.
Like you catch nobody knee pads today.
not like that.
What about elbow pads? Nobody wears those no more.
I'm glad.
David West may be the only person that still wear elbow pads.
He first won.
That's even worse.
Let's ask his son Maurice Spates why he don't wear no more. Most Sports Talk, we're back.
Jesus Christ.
The law firm of Molden, Henderson, and Allen is in the building.
Alexi Jensen. Like you couldn't get no other autograph, man.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that next segment. Oh my God!
You are unfair, man.
Before we went to break, we was explaining about T-Mac and the squad that he had, and Vin Baker. Why? But it's time.
Championship game, man.
Yeah, I see.
But see some never mind, I ain't gonna name it.
Today is February the 16th. Matter of fact, how was y'all weekend? How was y'all Valentine's weekend? By the way?
Valentine's weekend was pretty good.
It was great. Saw the underrated movie. If you guys want to see a movie, Kingsman.
Kingsman
Yes,
with Samuel L. Jackson playing Russell Simmons.
basically.
Nice.
Offended Russell with the lisp.
Yeah.
Really?
Is T.O. playing in this game, by the way?
This is
No.
PTO.
It's pre-TO. All right. Mine was cool. Had to wake, but work was pretty awesome.
How many nuggets you eat?
None. I'm tired of those.
How many hash brown nuggets you
Hey,
eat?
Alan Ross.
None. So ask me about nuggets.
Oh.
I'm tired of seeing the commercial.
That's Ron Mexico. See, that's Ron Mexico. The braids.
But, doing good old dispatch is pretty good. Got some interesting stories. I told Dave one. He still calls me a lot of bad words in the book, but hey, just doing my job.
Ooh, come on, beat. Where is it?
So you just add me, just call me Mr. Dispatch now. That's another nickname. Good old Phyllis Price.
There's White.
There's White.
Yes.
What?
Oh man, we all
Is that
track.
from like UAB, Des White?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Oh man, we all track. All right, today is Monday, February 16, 2015. And I do have some moments in sports history. Shout out to the producer, Hollywood, cooking it up over there. I've been seeing the song that you're getting off the hard drive. So we'll see what's going to be played next on the break. All right, Dave, 1970.
Yes.
Joe Frazier began his reign as the undefeated heavyweight world champion when he knocked out Jimmy Ellis in 5 rounds. He lost the title on January 22nd, 1973, when he lost for the first time in his pro career to Mr. George Foreman.
Smoking Joe Frazier. Hey, it's for all my back in the days devotees. You probably couldn't tell them nothing about that 70s heavyweight division, huh? All right, very good. Javon Curse.
Look who's next to him.
Corey Smith.
It's Corey Simon. Is that
Simon.
his free shoes?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
awesome.
1972. L.A. Laker Wilt Chamberlain topped the 30,000-point mark in his career
Pro Bowler.
during a game against the Phoenix Suns. He was the first NBA player to reach 30,000 points.
Anyone get in there?
Okay. Who's got a
LeBron.
LeBron and Kevin Durant have a sensational chance to get there.
Yes,
I
they
just gotta
do.
hope Kevin stays healthy, man. Because
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Mr. Misremembered, Roger Clemens, in 1989, signed a 3-year contract worth $7.5 million. 1992, the Lakers officially retired Magic's number 32 jersey. Magic was the fifth Laker ever to have his jersey retired.
Wilt, West, Jabbar.
Worthy.
No, not that. Not by that time.
not
Not
Worthy.
right time. Elgin Baylor.
Baylor. That's 4. That's 4. Plus 1 is 5,
more.
right? One more? Oh, Mikan.
No.
No,
Not Mikan?
Michael. No, not yet.
Okay. Chamberlain,
Not Goodrich, right?
Nope.
West, Magic, Baylor. We need one more. Oh, man.
I think you had it right.
All right.
Never mind. Where's Baylor, Chamberlain, Kareem,
Yeah.
and Elgin?
All right, cool.
All right, 1992, Michael Goulet of the Chicago Blackhawks
Oh,
became
yeah,
the
number
17th
51.
player to score 500 career goals.
Yeah.
Okay, last name again?
Goulet.
Goulet, okay.
Goulet.
ET,
Right?
yes, sir.
Yeah, all right.
1997, Jeff Gordon became the youngest driver to win Daytona 500.
You surprised he's retiring?
He's
Yes.
been around for. He's been around
Is
for.
it time to like own his? Is it like ownership time? I'm just tired of getting in the car.
I think-
every
I think
week.
he's just
like-
tired of getting in a car. I think that's what it is.
I think he's gonna do like Richard Petty. He's gonna get that feel.
Because we saw like Mark Martin racing till he was in his mid 50s.
Right.
I mean, so we saw Richard Petty retire, and then all of a sudden show up out of nowhere.
Jeff Gordon got a video game.
He's been
No.
on cover.
He didn't have a video game.
Covers
He's
up-
been on the cover of the
on the
NASCAR.
cover. Yeah, he been on the covers of NASCAR, but
Anybody's
not a
had
video
NASCAR
game.
themselves.
Jeremiah.
And by the way, those NASCAR games very underrated.
Only if you know cars. If
Yes.
you know cars, then yes, I agree.
If you know the NASCAR rules and the cars, that game is
How
very
can you just
underrated.
drive around in a circle though?
Look, I asked Double M this question. I'm gonna tag you in the answer she told me.
Okay.
I'll let me know if you agree or disagree.
All right, 1997, Mitch Richmond of then the Sacramento Kings scored his 15,000th career point against his former team, the Golden State Warriors.
You know,
The Mitch Richmond debate will go on forever as long as there's video of 90 shooting guards. Listen, people, he's a nice guard, man.
Yeah.
He's a nice little guard, man. Okay, cool. That's it. All right.
In 1999, this is a fade to black, by the way. O.J. Simpson's 1968 Heisman Trophy was sold for $230,000. A court judgment ordered the trophy to be sold to help settle the $33.5 million civil judgment against Simpson for the deaths of his ex-wife
Is this
and friend.
now that Heisman Trophy seemed to take a circuitous route to where he ended up trying to steal it,
steal it
out
back.
of a hotel room.
Which is the reason why he is in jail right now for stealing it back.
yeah, he tried to get post on somebody.
Who bought? Okay, if you wanted to own a Heisman Trophy,
Well,
that's the most famous one you want.
No, I probably from here probably Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams. Okay, who would you want, Moden? I want Woodson. I was a big Charles Woodson guy.
That was a good
I would
one.
say Andre Ware too.
Andre Ware. Okay. But OJ's
that's
though,
tough.
like, is
That's
that how
tough.
much of that? How much of that gets you a nice PYT out the bar on a Saturday night? Hey, you
know
want to come
what?
see? You want to come to my house and see OJ's Heisman Trophy?
How many?
Give me Eric Dickerson's.
Eric Dickerson did not win a
Did not win a
Heisman
Heisman
Trophy.
Trophy.
No, sir.
Bo.
Bo, very good.
Yeah, Bo may be the most.
Which
yeah.
Heisman Trophy gets you the most chicks?
Maybe
You know,
Bo.
you talking about generation stuff now? Probably Charles Woodson
Tebow.
because that's a rare one.
Tebow.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you about the Woodson one because that's a defensive player. And there ain't too many of those walking around there. You know,
Right.
so
Cool. That's a great question, Dave. I like that. All right. 2004. Then Commissioner of Baseball Bud Selig approved the swap of the A-Rod and Alfonso Soriano trade. The Rangers would also get a minor league player in the deal. And the Rangers, by the way, maybe it was like 2 or 3 years ago, finally is done paying with A-Rod on his contract. So.
That's true.
Jesus. All right, Chris. You ready?
I'm ready.
See who's in this Eagles secondary real quick.
Oh,
I
my
can tell you
God.
that. That's Lito.
You
Is
ready?
That's Lito. Is it Lito?
All right.
Lil Lito. Oh, yeah, it probably was. Sheldon Brown. Oh, man. All right, so you ready? Lito Shepard,
Yeah.
Brian Dawkins,
Okay.
Sheldon Brown, Michael Lewis.
Michael Lewis is a Pro Bowl. He was good at one point in time.
Watch a little 2004 NFC title game on the YouTube, trying to distract my boys here. We got Philly and Atlanta. Look at those Fox graphics.
versus the Run Mexico team.
All right, we got former
This isn't even the Brian Finneran team.
Shows ain't.
I think he was on
Is that
that
Algie
team.
Crumpler?
It is Algebra.
Algernon.
Dez White and Peerless Price. You all are awesome.
All right, we got former baseball player Barry Foote with a birthday.
Baseball player?
Yep.
Only foot I know that plays sports by like,
Was
that's-
Larry.
That's Larry
in the,
Foote.
in,
This,
the, in the Colorado Avalanche.
this is
Adam
Barry
Foote.
Foote, Foote. We have former New York Giant George Martin with a birthday.
Defensive lineman. Okay.
We have another George Martin who's a former defensive back for the Giants. His birthday is today.
I'll take your word for it.
Oh, my God. We have former NBA center of the Knicks Raptors, Herb Williams with a birthday.
He's a coach now somewhere.
Yeah, a long-time Nick assistant and definitely lunch and brunch.
You know what? He still looks the same.
Soiree.
He still looks the same too.
It don't crack, bro.
We have legendary tennis player John McEnroe with a birthday.
John McEnroe.
Good old temper. He was chilling last night though.
Oh, we have former Roots actor and Star Trek The Next Generation, LeVar Burton with a birthday.
Look.
So what's that? It says Reading Rainbow. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's all I know him as. I missed the Star Trek days.
I'm glad you missed it because
Now, which Star Trek was he? Was that
the
Next Generation?
Yeah.
Oh,
with,
okay.
With good old Patrick Stewart.
I have to get the T-Lady in here. She can rank all the Star Treks for us.
Please do because
Cool.
I mean, but like the Next Generation, a lot of people will consider that one of the tops because it lasted longer than the original Star Trek. So you might get those Next Generation people might have a huge debate with the first Star Trek.
I think the debate is because they had the best captain.
Yeah, and plus they had
Jean-Luc Picard.
Plus,
Who's
you know
the
that
quarterback here, folks?
for the Eagles,
I saw a right hand. That Detmer?
Yeah, Coy.
Ty Detmer.
That's Coy.
Is it Ty or Corey?
No.
That's Coy.
But yeah, back to the Star Trek generation. You know, they had like 3 or 4 movies too.
Right.
So you know,
the Next Generation. Had
yeah,
movies.
yeah, they had movies. So you gonna get those Next Generation people gonna go out there. I think I might take it to the interwebs.
Okay.
All right, we have
Oh, look at Coy.
former rapper
That's McNabb.
and actor right now, who plays on the Law and Order series. Ice-T with a birthday today.
Oh, Jizzle. Shout out to Revolt. First of all, they showed Ice-T's like first video, and then they showed his latest video. Have you seen Institutionalized?
No.
By Body Count. Awesome song. Awesome song. Yeah. Lead in the clubhouse for the Mo Sports Talk theme song. It is great.
Really?
And he's
It is great.
And you know how I am about. He's in the hierarchy of that.
Yes, he is.
He may
hierarchy.
He may be one of. If these didn't, you know.
And so if we go to a hierarchy of that, he'd be like in like this little
He's
castle.
at least
or something.
on the chamber.
Is he
He's on
is
chamber.
he the one where you go in and he's sitting down and you only got one question to ask?
You don't ask any question to him.
No, I'm just
He's
saying.
he's
I'm
one of the
saying
enforcers.
you like if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you find all Dragon Balls and you know you get the Grand Dragon. You only get one wish or one question.
Fine. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
does Ice-T
State,
fit it?
you better state your case and state it thoroughly
I'm fine
too,
with that.
partner.
Okay. We have former forward for the Pistons and Jazz, Kelly Tripucka, with a birthday.
Hey,
Okay,
Kelly.
former Charlotte Hornet, former
He's known for the Hornets, man, with those jerseys.
former Notre Dame great.
We have
His
former,
dad played in the NBA too.
We have
right?
former Cleveland Cavalier, 4-time All-Star, and 3-time three-point contest winner, Mark Price, with a birthday.
Obviously not one of Chris's best 2 Cavaliers, but
man.
pretty serviceable. Who's he the shooting coach for now?
You know.
He is? Okay.
We have former cornerback for the Cardinals and Lions, Robert Massey, with a birthday.
Yeah, I remember Robert.
I do remember Robert Massey.
We have former tackle of the Cardinals, Cecil Gray, with a birthday.
Sure.
Oh, man. Former WWF wrestler, part of this tag team called The Brood with Edge and Christian, David Heath, known as Gangrel, with a birthday today.
You approve of that? Is that an approved wrestler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially at the time.
This
Yeah.
isn't a
was good.
turn the channel when he comes out, right?
Nah, it's no turn channel.
Probably had one of the best entrances ever.
It's just music, too.
Excellent.
Spit out the blood.
Yeah. Came down with the candles, Edge and Christian side by side. Have you seen Edge lately?
No.
Cut his hair.
Finally?
Yeah.
Wow.
Looking a little old there. We have former running back for the Washington Redskins, Larry Jones, with a birthday.
Who?
Have
It's like a
Where's
generic-
Seawick on? We need Seawick on that one.
former D tackle for the Chiefs, Anthony Abrams, with a birthday.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Ask Sean Smith about him.
This running back right here, we do not approve of making the Hall of Fame. Jerome Bettis has a birthday.
I'll approve of that. Come on now. I mean, I understand there's certain like narratives we got to add into it.
Yes, namely being a Steeler and being a big smiling guy on TV.
On
but-
TV.
Yeah,
Okay.
that. And he has the perfect
Now,
like
look.
fro. He has the perfect like fro to edge up. How does that work?
He sets up, but he also, Chris is right in the fact that he sets up like the hypocritical argument because he's got 4 major NFL categories where he's top 10. Okay,
Yeah.
He came out of college
Just don't
as one of
see
the
it.
dudes too, man.
this is true. Okay.
All right, we have this is a Football Life nominee for running backs, former Packer, Ward number 30, Mr. Amon Green, with a birthday.
Man, he had a run, boy.
He had a nice run. Let's see, Seattle and Green Bay. Went to Nebraska.
Didn't he have like an 1,800-yard year one time?
Yeah, he was post Lawrence Phillips at Nebraska. But let's look up some more.
This was
Amon
before Dorsey
Green.
Levens, correct? Or after Dorsey Levens?
After Dorsey won the Super Bowl.
All right. We have former football player Ashley Lilly with a birthday.
Former Hawaiian
Right.
great. We
Yeah.
was talking about enlisting his help
He
to
wasn't
improve
on
the
that
football
Falcons team
team.
later? He was on Denver.
He was on that Broncos team.
Yeah.
And one more here. We have a Basketball Life nominee, by the way, Chris. Mr. Quintel Woods with a birthday.
Oh my God.
Wow. One of those. That's one of those cautionary high school to pro tales. Okay, Amon Green in 12 seasons, 9,200 yards, 60 touchdowns, 4.5 yards per carry. His best season, Chris was right, for Green Bay, 2003, 16 games, 1,883 yards, an average of 5.3 yards a carry, 15 touchdowns. Also had 50 catches that year and 5 touchdowns.
That's MVP candidate right there in today's NBA.
Yeah, he had a nice 4-year stretch rushing and receiving where he put up some good-looking numbers. Had 99 targets in year 2000.
All right. Couple of notables real quick. Drummer of the heavy metal band Slayer, Dave Lombardo. His birthday's today. All right. The younger sister of Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, Elizabeth Olsen, is 26.
She's an actress, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Actress. Rapper. The Cool. Food and Liquor. Which one? 1 and 2.
Already.
Lupe Fiasco. His birthday's today. He turned 33 today. Let's see. Soccer player, Ricky Lambert.
Liverpool.
Yes, sir. His birthday is today. Let's see what else we got over here. Oh, he may go down as a bust. From UConn, Mr. Hashim Thabit.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Stop defending these big men, Dave. No.
I'm not going to defend the big man. I just, look, again, if you want to be over 7 feet tall, okay? You don't want to be. You want to be 7'3". Like
No.
Ralph Sampson was pretty good at 7'4".
Yeah.
But after like 7'3", you just Zadrunas or the aforementioned Rick Smith.
So which one will you have right now? Biz Magbiambo or Hashim Thabit?
Right now,
Bismack,
man, because he's at least athletic enough to box out. Like, how many times can Thabit get up and down the court? Like consistently.
Like just run it repeatedly.
Because look, if you just told Thabit, look, man, you're not really gonna get no plays called. Your post game ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? If you just need him to run up and down the court, use his 6 fouls, throw some elbows, protect the rim. You think he could do that 25 minutes a night?
I don't think so.
Okay. And my next question is, when you're that tall, what's stopping you from developing a hook shot?
Nothing.
Okay.
Because you have a fair advantage when you do the hook shot already.
Thank you.
You already use your opposite arm to defend yourself.
If you do the sports science deal, I think they had Jabbar releasing his hook shot to the point to where he was almost throwing it down into the rim. Okay, thank you.
But you 7'3" those.
Back to these lineups.
All right.
Shout out to John Runyon.
Last two. Singer, The Weeknd.
Abel. Hey, boys and girls, do not play that around the cheerings.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And last but not least, I don't know if this is accurate or not, 'cause I tried looking on several lists, but apparently it shows it. Whoa, Chad Lewis.
Freddie Mitchell.
Yes, the belt, B.
John Parr. Is that Jason Parr?
Josh Perry.
Josh Perry.
All right, last but not least, former hockey player, Chicago Blackhawks, one of the great North American players, Tony Amonte.
Tony Amonte. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. One of the greats. Definitely.
Good old Reebok on the jerseys.
Good stuff, Chris. All right, let's take a break, come back. NBA All-Star Weekend was afoot. A lot of PLSs had a lot of victories over the weekend. And we will recap that next. Mo Sports Talk, THAfterparty.com on the A side.
What's happening? What? Uptown New Orleans in that bitch, we VN, you understand? With this hot girl miss, fucking with these uptown gorillas. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Do your thing, girl.
Y'all don't wanna give me my props. I'ma have to lick 2 shots. I'ma knock. Pop the enemy till they drop. Make his whole body go hip to the hop. Well, I won't stop till I get up to the top. Gotta blow any other state off the map. And I got a whole lot of cheddar in my pox. Better give me 5 mics, give me props. Say you sick of my clicking my shit. Cause I got a whole lot of hits and no tricks. Just the baseline, few snares, few kicks. Make the whole industry wanna go and bit. I say you sit, we sit, I sit. While I go shit on a mix like this. Say you spit, I spit, we spit. Bet you can't fuck with a nigga like this. Check me out. Ain't no nuts, but you can't resist. If you come hard, better come legit. You can talk shit, cause we confident. If you think not, then you're bound to see. Ain't no nuts, but you can't resist. If you come hard, better come legit. You can talk shit cause we confident. We gon' show you so you best believe. Y'all don't wanna put me on the front page, all the shit I done done. Now you wanna fuck around and grade my shit. Let's talk about the million niggas who big. It's only one Timothy from the V, and the whole industry going beep beep. Now I gotta go change up my beats so another nigga won't duplicate me. Yeah, got styles, got shows, videos, and my shows it grows. And I sing, I flow, I blows, and I know y'all niggas know when I come swift with the 1-2 kick. If you got a blunt, got a light, got a lit. Yeah, don't stop, won't quit. And I made 1.6 admit. Check me out. Ain't no nuts, but you can't resist. If you come hard, better come with you. We gon' talk shit cause we confident. If you think not, then you're bound to see. Ain't no nuts, but you can't resist. If you come hard, better come with you. We gon' talk shit cause we confident. We gon' show you so you best believe.
I'm that nigga that told them AKs. BG is what they call me. I be in them project hallways. Beef with me, you gon' be sorry. Me and my niggas will shut your block down. We got queso, put them Glocks down. You scared to come outside. Them hot boys got you on lockdown. This nigga here from CMB. Roll with a click about 20 deep. Cause I made a meal, don't mean I ain't gon' keep it real with my peeps. All I have is thugs in my clique. All my niggas, they come off the street. Now all of a sudden, hoes on my dick. Cause I'm on BET and MTV.
It ain't no secret, this nigga be project. Getting paid, that's what's my object. Ain't none of you niggas gon' stop this. Cause I'm about making a profit. I'm all about getting it locked, dawg. Don't wanna be on the block, yo. Cause bitches be making them cop calls while I be making drop off. Man, it fresh, you hook me up too. Tell the play haters I say fuck you. You needs to worry about you instead of what to not do. Juvenile done hooked up with Missy. Bitches gon' hate me, bitches gon' diss me. A lot of you niggas gon' miss me. I'ma be here, you gon' be history.
Ain't no nuts, but you can't resist. If you come hard, better come with you. We gon' talk shit cause we confident. If you think not, then you're bound to see. Ain't no nuts, but you can't resist. If you come hard, better come with you. We gon' talk shit cause we confident. We gon' show you so you best believe. Ain't no nuts, but you can't resist. If you come hard, better come with you. We gon' talk shit cause we confident. If you think not, then you're bound to see. Ain't no nuts, but you can't resist. If you come hard, better come with you. We gon' talk shit cause we confident. We gon' show you so you best believe. If you come hard, better come with you. If you come hard, better come with you. We gon' show you so you best believe.
Look. Is you a hot girl? If not, girl, can't be touching my hot spot, girl. I can't be all up in that cock, girl. I'm running with Michael Watts, girl. This is our world, but you can't tell. Just look at the ice in my bezel. My bread is green, but it ain't stale. TV's in a 600 V12 while it be swell, and I'm slugged up. The chameleon be tatted and thugged up. My money be getting all jealous. You gotta move, I can't be hugged up. They bugged up. Selective sounds, the feds is some baller blocking. Watch us, they knock us, cause we riding in candy red droppers on chopper. You love that. I see your big ass and I love that. Like Juvenile, back that ass up in my direction and let me rub that. Switch your house, no need to dub that. Go get you some Switcher House socks. Go get you some new shoes. Put Switcher House on top of your Reeboks. Water, if you're trying to get rich, go on and get some Switcher House stocks. Cause if it ain't platinum or gold, then it ain't come from that Michael Watts.
Water, what's happening, Mike Watts? I'm rocking Reebok with some white socks. Paul Wall be wrecking the mic while Michael Watts be chopping the rice. Chopping your block up with big dough. We about to go hit us a lick. You best to quit running your mouth, cause my gorilla's been known to kick though. I'm Paul Wall camouflage boy with soldier rack on my crotch. And if we get in some drama, Damian Davis carry their Glocks. But Terry off in the garage bar. He ready and waiting to blast back. Jabari y'all up in that black lag with the fat bat in his backpack. When the back crack, we turn heads. My job be making them blow. I can catch vipers if I roll on spare tires and donut. Watch be bringing that chalk back. You bootleggers best to stop.
Hey, this is Mike Conley, the Memphis Grizzlies, and you're listening to Mo's Sports Talk.
That's it. I don't think you're getting more than that in the open market.
Nah.
All right, cool.
We're back. Good old finger point from our producer, Mo Sports Talk.
This must be a deep draft.
Deep draft, indeed. All right.
I don't think so.
Moden Allen Henderson on the mics. NBA All-Star Weekend was afoot. It was the 64th NBA All-Star Game at Madison Square Garden. My bad, the Mecca. As the Knicks fans trolled and took over Twitter with all the hype beast talk. Of course, some sad or maybe more happy than sad about Mr. Amari Stoudemire with the good old buyout during the All-Star Weekend. But let's get to the events. I guess we can. I don't want to really just spend too much time on this, but
Well, why are you spending any time? Why you grunting in between?
Because the next segment segment comes up next. Mr. All-Star Makeover guy that wrote 2 parts about it. Matter of fact, go to mosportstalk.com and check that out. My boy Dave has is not pleased with the All-Star Weekend, and he has wrote 2 parts of his All-Star improvements and what should be changed. Check that out right now. All right. We have Patrick Beverly winning the Taco Bell Skills Challenge. We have Team Bosch winning the Shooting Stars for the third straight.
I have a question. Why wasn't Dominique on Team Millsap?
I don't understand that.
That's very interesting because I want to know how are these teams picked and mixed up like that?
Because they had Pippen, right?
Yeah.
No, you had Millsap the ATL with Dominique the ATL.
Yeah, so
you
why
couldn't
not?
find an Atlanta. And do the Atlanta still have a women's team?
Atlanta Dream. Yeah.
Okay, so you can pluck a player from there. What are y'all doing?
Strike one.
Maybe they couldn't find nobody. Maybe nobody want to participate.
Ridiculous. They're not doing anything right now.
They haven't been doing anything if it's just like the Houston Comets win the title.
Okay.
Exactly. All right. 3-point contest is obvious. Choice who won that.
Was it that obvious?
I don't think so because, man, Wesley Matthews came out and was
Wesley, listen, well said, okay? My question is this. If you're Wesley Matthews, what order would you rather go in the first round in the 3-point contest?
The good example is when I talked to J.J. Redick, I asked him, I said, if you had to place yourself in a position, he said you want to go first because then you kind of know and you got to hope they meet to your level. Because the thing is, like, if you run into like with Wesley went out there, Kyle Korver was kind of screwed.
Yep.
I mean, he went out there, Wesley had like 25 points. Then the way they accept those money balls where they had it in the middle rack, where his high spot that was like, I got to hit 27 now.
Exactly.
I think that kind of sucks. Like, if you go out there with no expectation, if I hit 25, I got a chance. You can kind of bank on somebody not getting there.
Exactly. So, I see what you're saying, like, going first. So, like, everybody going to have to feed off your score. So, you can go out there, you can go out there hit 28. You know what I'm saying? And that already adds on pressure to the other participants. Like, damn, I got to hit 28. Or at least close that so I won't get eliminated.
Yeah, and also it helps you out with rust, too, because you can run to a situation. If you have the worst first round, you still make it. You back at it again, then you could potentially be in the championship the first person. So that's pretty bad, too.
Indeed.
I was impressed, though. I thought that was the best class you could put together. I could have argued a few other 3-point shooters that could have been there, but when you look at the guys that are there, I mean, maybe James Harden was the one that kind of got me a little, didn't understand why. I mean, I understand he shoots a lot of threes, but like a guy like Charlie Villanueva, for instance, people don't watch him play, but he can hit the 3-pointer.
I mean, I think it's different between, like, scorers and shooters. And, like, with 3-point contests, you will finally determine who's really a 3-point shooter and just a 3-point scorer. Harden's more of a scorer, but he do shoot a lot of threes. But it's the point of, can you just stand there and hit 3-pointers instead of just shooting, off the dribble and off the step backs?
It reminds me of, I don't know what year that was, DA, when Michael Jordan was in the 3-point contest that one year, where it just didn't make sense. Like, it was like he was a scorer.
Yeah, but I think in that case, though, Jordan asked to be in it, and who was telling Jordan no?
Because of his competitive nature.
It's because of his competitive nature.
We have Andrew Wiggins, who was MVP of USA versus the world in the Rising Stars Challenge.
Man, I love how Canada is known as the world. And just to say U.S. versus non-U.S.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the dunk contest.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that rookie.
I ain't either.
To me.
Then what do you do about that game?
You go back to the old school.
Just go back to how it was. Because if y'all can't determine, the world, the USA, just go back to how it was.
Or do this. Do D-League versus the rookies.
But what if they said, but hold up. So D-League All-Stars versus
Yeah.
Why not?
I'll buy that.
I'll buy that.
I'll buy that.
We evaluate our talent on how these rookies are supposed to be good.
You see here at Mo Sports Talk, we're solutions-oriented, boys and girls.
And also-
All right, that's done.
Also, shout out to Dallas native Andre Emmett winning the D-League All-Star Game MVP.
Former Carter Cowboy, former Texas Tech Red Raider, still
Yes,
trying
sir.
to get at it.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good.
I saw a couple of guys in there.
Maybe he should call Mark Price.
Did you watch that dunk contest in the D-League? You saw one?
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
Jarvis Threat.
Jarvis Threat.
The cousin of Sadell.
Yeah, the cousin, yo.
That's Sadell. Yeah.
Former Laker Grace Adele 3. Yes, sir. Okay, so the I assume we're talking dunk contest next.
Yes.
My question is, can we go ahead and go? Look, I mean, Curry wins the 3-point contest. Okay, I agree with Poppy Levitar to say let's just make it a half court contest. Okay, because look, I think all the OGs in the other competition hit all the half court shots. I think
Right.
So except my man C. Bosh hit one of them.
Hit one
I
of
think
them, yeah.
Dominique hit. Dale Curry hit. Why
Yeah.
can't we just have them shoot from half court?
Why not? I would. I think it'll make it more interesting.
Okay. And if you have the bonus balls, okay, shut up. What rack do you put them on? I'm an elbow. Not a corner 3 guy, but I'm an elbow 3
I put
guy,
the corner.
for example.
I put it in the corner.
My player style.
Yeah.
To me, so like
The corner be too easy.
someone said don't put them
Well,
in the
duh, you're trying to win, so
I
you
mean,
want to
yeah,
make it
but-
as easy as possible.
Well, somebody said don't put them in the first 2 rack or the first or the last rack because then you kind of hope that you hit them.
So if you're going
Like
from
Wesley went from like 10 points up to like 20 points in like a 1 rack.
so if you're going right to left, you want it on the left
Probably
corner or
so.
left elbow.
Yeah.
BMO.
On that elbow.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All right, dunk contest. A lot of people wasn't really just because namesake. I always feel like, oh man, this ain't gonna be nothing. But hey, Zach LaVine said, "Nah, B,
Jeez.
I beg to differ." Cause oh my god, I mean,
Yeah.
besides the between the legs dunks and stuff like that, but the one where he took
Go
behind
behind
his
his
back,
He
took
wasn't even
behind his
looking.
back.
He wasn't even looking.
He wasn't even, and that's the thing. He looked like on a pinpoint second to make sure he caught the ball right, but that was it. Every dunk that he had, his head was at the rim. This kid is 19 years old, by the way. 19.
To quote Kid Mero,
Man, say, man.
you just look in the crowd, you see Klay Thompson smiling.
But that's all they're going to show is PLSs,
Yeah, that's what they did.
and that's all they showed.
Think about it.
Who can only relate? Huh? Kid Genius?
But come on now.
Hey, you see how Bozzy was in the fashion show?
Right?
They had 2 of them.
Yeah, what's the deal with this, okay?
I
A
thought-
fashion show, Dave?
Hey, for the comedy part of it, it was
Hey,
cool.
got some non NBA fans in the building. That's
then-
all they trying to do,
And
man.
then
Expand
also,
the brand.
They got good personality. Like Earl, shout out to Earl, man. Earl is like in the he fits that. But I like the dunk contest. I think I have a rule for the dunk contest. I don't know about you guys. No guys over 6'7". Because to me,
So we eliminate Zach LaVine and Plumlee.
well, Zach LaVine is 6'6".
Yeah, you've met him.
Okay.
That's your boy.
But yeah, well, no, he about 6'5".
He was listed. What is he
I don't
listed
think
as?
he's 6'6".
I don't know. He may not be that tall. He's
No.
not that-
He's not listed at 6'9".
No, Zach LaVine's a point guard.
No.
He's not a point guard.
Zach LaVine's the
He
point
is a
guard.
point guard, but I
He's
don't
a point
know.
guard. He ain't that tall. But I will say this, like to me,
6'5".
Yeah, he's not that tall. I mean, he's tall, obviously, but yeah.
So eliminate guys over 6'7".
Yeah, because I don't like. Don't get me wrong. If somebody else was doing Mason Plumlee's dunks or Giannis's dunks,
Giannis, okay.
yeah, it looks nice. Because last guy I can remember that had a exceptional dunk contest, maybe JaVale or Dwight. Like Dwight wasn't perfect because Dwight has power with his dunks.
How many under 6 footers you want?
I think the
You
whole
got, you got some under 6 footers that would qualify out here?
for the dunk contest.
Can Trey Burke dunk?
No,
I have no idea. Kyle Lowry.
What about
Put
Isaiah?
Kyle Lowry in there.
I would say
Can Isaiah dunk?
Yeah, he can
he
dunk.
could dunk. I don't know if he's
I don't think you can just consider him like.
like there's some. To me, if they want to do something to the dunk contest, it'll be kind of cool. Do a team dunk contest.
No.
You watch these dudes. No, because I mean, if you go to these games, you watch these dudes in warm ups.
Yes.
They throwing hoops to each other. Like I was at that.
I mean, that's what they did last year. Remember?
Yeah, I was at the Minnesota game. Like I knew this. Like Zach LaVine told everybody, hey man, Glenn Robinson III told everybody. And I watch these dudes in the warm ups. They're throwing oops off the backboard to themselves, going between legs. Why not? Because I don't like to see them going against the Clippers. Like him, Andrew Wiggins, and Glenn Robinson III going against like Blake and DeAndre. Like that would be an exception because those dudes are like dunkers. But to me, the 7-footers don't look. It doesn't look right. Like when Mason Plumlee did that dunk, it didn't look right.
Take
It looked basic.
Take 4 NBAers, take 2 D-leaguers, take 2 off the streets in an
But I
internet
will say
contest.
this was
throw
the
it down.
most entertaining dunk contest. I know it was a shutdown for one person. Give credit to Victor Oladipo for what he did.
Ooh, my God!
My thing with
dunk was great.
And in terms of Oladipo and all my people that just say, "Hey, just make the dunks." Look, you missed that first dunk. Why don't you have a B dunk?
Right.
To me, you should have at least 8 to 10 dunks practice going on because once we see the dunks, it doesn't matter when you make it.
It doesn't.
Switch it up like Levine did.
And that's the thing that I hate the most, when you miss a dunk and then it's like, oh man, I got to hurry up and just let me make this dunk. But it's like your point system already goes down as if you already missed it. And then we got to keep seeing it again. Then you may miss it again. Like Dave said, you should if you compete in a dunk contest, where's your arsenal? Like with Zach had an arsenal with him. He had options.
East Bay dunks.
It's like you just are. I mean, I understand that you have so much confidence in yourself to know that, okay, I'm going to make this dunk and whatever good. But what if you miss it? It seems like they don't think about it after that.
Just go to a second dunk.
I always thought that was another thing too. I mean, what can they do?
You got to bring these boys. What I think you do is you bring some of these boys off the street. You bring some of these boys from D League in, and you let their creativity kind of permeate through the league. And then if we still need names, then I think we'll get.
I think someone suggested lowering the goal down.
Nah, that doesn't change. That doesn't change anything because we weren't even impressed when Dwight dunked on an 11-foot goal.
I got a suggestion for the dunk contest too. I know that the D League do their All-Star game and dunk contest before the actual game, but how about whoever wins the D League All-Star game compete in NBA All-Star game?
I don't have a problem with that. Let the D Leaguers have their competition and the top 2 guys come up and compete on All-Star weekend. I'm with that.
Yeah,
I'm
Zach
good.
Levine's already said that on note that he would love to go against the air up there from the N1 league. He would love to go against some
And
dunk
what's
teams.
stopping the air up there, bringing one of his mans in them and letting them participate in the dunk contest?
I will say this though, like when Zach Levine did that one dunk, I think JR was the only one to ever do that dunk where it was like that, but not from that angle.
No,
not from when he went, but because it was just I'd never seen it, and he jumped so high.
Especially when the weekend was suited to honor the ultimate street basketball city, for example.
Right.
Why not?
So why not have
street?
street? Man, that would have been incredible to me. All right, NBA All-Star game. Shout out to the MVP, Mr. Russell Westbrook, Ninja Turtle, hitting 41 points to get the MVP. West beat the East 163-158. Game filled with alley-oops and trick plays, but only one alley-oop really impressed me. That was old man Dirk catching the oop from Mr. Steph Curry, which a lot of people.
He did not know it was coming.
I don't think he knew. I think he knew. He just didn't want to go out there and dunk it. But I think he just said, "F it, I might as well." He was already high enough. And then you seen the Usain Bolt celebration that he put up after that.
That was the Vince.
No, he did the Vince. That's right. He did the Vince.
What if he got hung and like fell backwards? Rick Carlisle probably was cringing when he went for that dunk.
Oh, after that he sat back down. And shout out to Steve Kerr with the mic'd up theatrics.
You take this guy and then you pass to that guy.
I like Steve Kerr. See, that's something that they mention about this Golden State team. They say that he's like that. Unlike Mark Jackson, he's not one of those guys that, Kerr kind of lets them play basketball. And if that ain't like for those all-stars that are free agents coming up with some kind of luring device to say, hey, man, this is how it is with Steve Kerr at all times. They say he's like that at all times.
But with Kerr, I think Kerr, like with him, I think he already knows what he has already. And plus, he already knows everybody's attributes and things of that nature. So I'm not saying that he don't run plays or anything like that, because we know a coach that do not run plays good. Who was the coach of the All-Star team last year?
You don't know anything. Remember, you don't know anything.
But
leave my coach alone.
Like hearing Kerr, how he was with the All-Star game with his players, just freestyle everything. He was do what you want to do. Of course, he's gonna ask little jokes here and there, and that was good to see. But All-Star game is in the books. Chris, 100-point scale, what do you rate the All-Star game, All-Star weekend?
For the entertainment purpose, I had to give it a 9, man. I think like the fashion show brought something different. I was more in tune to just like some of the theatrics that they brought. I like the NBA TV documentaries. Although, I know New York has a clout about themselves about being the basketball mecca, but I did like seeing the story with Kenny Smith, those guys, all those great players that are from New York. They talk about street ball stories. I like how they did the Legends Brunch, where they had all the guys, they were doing that. I saw a little documentary with Peter Vesey. He was talking for a slight second about it. You know, I think the New York part about it, I feel, the dunk contest saved it. I think the dunk, if it was a bad dunk contest, it would have been a disastrous night. I think we had the right amount of talent for the All-Star weekend for the three-point contest. The All-Star game, to me, I wasn't impressed with it because I just thought that it is what it is with the All-Star game. Like the last All-Star game that got me jumping up and down was in '98 when Kobe was first there. Because I thought that was like, you kind of could see it was a monumental thing. I don't know how you could say that did, but like you kind of knew like Jordan was gone. Here comes Kobe. Like there was no indication of like, hey man, this guy's gone. Here comes this guy. We already know Steph Curry's good. He may be the best point guard in basketball, but there was no like guy that was like Chris Paul was retiring. Like they were going head to head. Like Kobe brought something to that game that was special. I don't know. And to me, you know, like I said, the rosters were watered down a little bit. You had a lot of guys that didn't play, so it really took it away from the whole game.
All right. Cool.
Excuse me. I'd go 50 on a 100-point scale. I thought the game was about what I thought it was going to be. I honestly thought when the West got off to a blazing start and scored 47 in the first quarter, I thought they were going to continue to gun it and even try and get 200. Okay, like I was waiting on that moment. But the game went about how I thought it was. Somebody jumped out to a big league and it kind of got close. You know, kind of stayed close throughout. I thought the Saturday activity was pretty good. Again, short of like bringing back Horace, whatever you guys want to do with the Friday in terms of the rookies or whatever, I'm with that. You know, my thoughts on the dunk competition are well rather known. I thought it was a good dunk competition. I just thought that if our biggest deal is bemoaning the misses, then I think our guys need to have some more dunks. Now, what they do, I don't know. I also came out of thinking that on the dunk contest, there isn't much more innovation from the NBA side because as great as Zach LaVine was, we've been going through our legs now since 95 or something.
Yeah, and matter of fact, just a history on those dunks he did, those same dunks he did in like a summer league dunk contest he won.
Yeah, right. Up in Seattle.
Yeah,
and
right.
This nonsense of not giving my man Isaiah J.R. Ryder ultimate credit for the East Bay Funk dunk. I mean, a lot of these people out here thinking Kobe was the first one that did that. So, you know, I don't know what we can do in terms of in increasing the through the legs deal. I don't have any idea, but I do know that there are creative people out here, far more creative, far more athletic than I am. And again, I think you can find these guys on the streets. I see them on Instagram. I see it on YouTube all the time. So I think you need to get those guys involved, increase the competition, and for you star guys who want the stars in it, then maybe that helps out. But you know, I thought the All-Star weekend was good. I see I missed a bunch of Reggie Miller stuff. And I want to ask that real quick. Nobody thought to correct Reggie Miller when he said Kyrie went to Kentucky? Nobody?
No, and then he tried to get mad at Marv because Marv brought up the whole thing about Wilt. Because, you know, Russ Westbrook was like a point away from breaking Wilt's All-Star game record for points in the game.
See, this is why he's got to go.
See, to me, you got to have a guy. You got to have some entertainment up there. To me, it was too much. He wanted to preach about basketball.
Webb is enough. See, here my problem is, and you know, look, Barkley's gonna hate me for this, but it's too many ex-players sprinkled about there, and there is no buffer to like have conversation. And you know, I don't think this goes back to a question I've asked for years. Name the last great player that did that made that post career transition to anything. Like, did you all think Magic was a good color guy?
No.
Okay, Isaiah, he was okay.
It was cool.
Okay, but you know, when I look around, I see David Aldridge sideline reporting, for example. You know, why isn't he the third guy? Why can't we get maybe a media guy in there to buffer this out? I think Reggie just bluster on it. He is downright annoying.
I think with David Aldridge's sake, I think maybe he can, but I think he's just comfortable just doing sideline reporting.
It's a hard deal. Like, look at Grant Hill, for example. He's having some some growing pains, but it's also his first year. I mean, we've heard Reggie now for 3 or 4 years, and he's still botching up stuff like factual things.
And that's crazy to me because I heard Grant, you know, doing some college basketball work as well. he's okay with like you say he's going through growing pains, but he's improving with that. But like with Reggie, and then like when off the tip off, Marv already said the game is underway at the tip. Here comes Reggie. It is game on. Why would you even say
that
like
early
that
into the mix too?
Right, very early into the mix. And the one thing that really got to me was the open mic commentary during the dunk contest and the shooting stars, and it like you can. I was like, nah, I don't want to hear them talk like that on the mic like that.
Reggie was like Kenny's gonna be forever a fixture.
Yeah, but Kenny's okay though.
Yeah, because Kenny's got like after that Vince Carter dunk, like no matter how much we look at that Vince Carter dunk, the one thing we remember from that dunk contest was the famous words, "It's over."
I mean, but I know that I'm talking about like during the event.
Yeah, like
I don't want to.
Reggie's always complaining about people
event.
jumping low and like, dude, you never dunked in your life.
I don't want to hear this while the event is going on during the arena. I don't want to hear that.
I think the issue with the guys that are doing it, some of these guys are like really great basketball players. And I think it's hard for them to translate. So, like, for instance, I'll give you a good example.
I agree.
Matt Harpering, who does Utah's play-by-play. According to Vesey and these guys, he's one of the better.
He's very good.
He is very good.
We met him before. He's very good.
And when you get these guys like Shaq, they know-it-alls. They're know-it-alls.
Know-it-alls plus with arrogance right behind
Like,
it.
for instance, I had a chance to listen to one of the fellow show, one of our show friends, Tracy Murray, do UCLA. Very good job. Another one of the best guys they point out, man, Tracy's doing a good job over at UCLA. Because I think their knowledge of the game is a little different than what Charles would know. Charles is an all-time great. What can you tell Charles Barkley about basketball besides he didn't win a championship? He's done everything possible. You know what I mean? Like, guys like Shaq, even Chris Webber, Reggie Miller, they have, like, certain personalities. Like, to me, Kenny Smith fits that mold because he was just a guy. And then he was always that kind of guy. Like, you can't throw a guy like Karl Malone in a boot. But you can probably throw like Horace Grant in the booth for somebody or
Matt Harpering.
Matt Harpering, somebody like that because they was just a role guy. They look at it from a different standpoint. I hate that. Like when DA brought up a good point in our little chat thing. These guys they have these certain things about basketball morals because they did it a certain way. And of course the basketball hype beast. Well, Charles is right. Well, Shaq is right about the analytics thing. Mm-hmm. But to me, I just think that you can't look at their standpoint. And you got to get a different face in there. Like, you got to have your one guy like Marv, who's the voice. Then you got to have a guy that come in there that brings in the conversation.
Well,
like me, Reggie is like, well, like he brought a Wilt. He said, well, Wilt did this. Well, Wilt played in the era when needed. Like, it shouldn't be an argumentative situation. Like,
and that's the thing with Reggie. He wants to argue about something. This is not the time and place to do that right now. Not while you're doing commentary over on the NBA game. And I like the fact that we said like Matt Harpering and players of that example, which I don't mean to be mean by saying this, but I think you gain more by looking at the game at the role that you had. I mean, I know there were bench players and they coming off the bench, but I think you analyze more from the bench and you look at more during practice and doing things of that nature, more the X's and O's, which determines how good that you are as a commentator, as a color commentator.
Like, don't get me wrong, the great Walt Clyde Frazier, he's a great. But when I listen to him commentate, it's like, although he has a certain, like, his mannerisms, the voice, the rhyming of words sounds cool, but it's Walt Clyde Frazier. Like, what can he, like, if he describes how bad Rondo played that night, I'm going to have to agree with him. Like, with Matt Harper, he's going to say, hey, these things are such, because he can compare it to the greats, not being a great saying, well, he did this wrong. He did this wrong. I mean, that's the problem I have with, like, some of those, like, NBA TV. I think Dennis Scott would be perfect for play-by-play. Dennis Scott has a certain voice. He has a certain thing about himself, a mannerism. He's been there. A lot of those guys. Mateen Cleaves. We laugh. Mateen Cleaves does good with Detroit. He does good on Fox Sports Southwest. He does a play-by-play. I did because they understand from a certain standpoint. And it's like Reggie's always boasting. Like he was talking about Jordan in the All-Star game and him being there in New York that last time and how the fans were. We know about that, Reggie.
I think Reggie's problem just on Reggie alone. He's trying too hard. Okay,
make a joke and it's not funny.
Yeah, you're trying too hard to get your name out there in terms of being some sort of like iconic color commentary guy. And I think that type of deal, comes over time. I think the player deal for me is A, is just too much of it, and B, while I understand totally what they're saying, I don't like that player fraternity type attitude I get when you don't want to call certain players out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's only so many. I don't say it has to turn adversarial, but I look at like in golf when your what's my man Miller?
Yep.
My man Miller, he takes shots at everybody. There are no sacred cows. There's no, look, if that was a bad shot, hey, yo, Phil, Tiger, that was a bad shot. Yeah. I don't know what you're thinking there. And to me, when you have players who either are under the same company somehow or same agency, for example, there is that camaraderie there that you like, I ain't really trying to embarrass my man on the telescreen. And I think there is some merit to that. And I think what you have to do is you have to break that whole player announcer monotony up. Like,
you gotta get somebody that's like us.
I can't. Yes, I just look. I cannot. I just can't. Everybody tells me how great the TNT show is. I just can't.
I think it's more entertaining because I think the person like Shaq is a personality.
It's entertainment, but after a while though.
It's
I want some basketball stuff.
And I think, like, I understand what you're saying, Dave. You want to be, if you have all these ex-players up here and guys that know the game, you want to hear more basketball stuff than most.
When
I understand.
ESPN goes NBA coast to coast on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays for a couple hours, you hear Steiny Mo,
right.
Israel, or a Don Day, one of their guys on the basketball beat. Turner Sports, they need guys on the basketball beat. They need to either team up with like Yahoo and I need something. Okay, even when NBA TV has like their writing staff, their NBA.com writing staff, it just seems to provide certain nuance and certain things that like, I think being a great player, you tend to overlook. And I think that's what happens when you get Reggie and Barkley's a different case. He's been allowed to get away with certain things, so he's just like on his effort.
I think that's what Kenny, like, although Keith Smith may not be the most popular in the group, but like even when they do this, I like the open courts. When they throw Steve Smith in there, it's like Steve Smith seems it sometimes. I like Steve Smith because he's a basketball guy. And this system that he grew up in, like not grew up in, but like he played with the Spurs, so he kind of understands the game. Like there's certain things he talks about because like I remember when they had the little discussion about Chris Webber and they were talking about power forwards all the time. And everybody, like you said, was, oh man, Chris Webber was great, man. That's my man's. And all of a sudden here comes Kenny Smith and Steve Smith. Like, hey man, I think I'll take Dirk over you.
Yeah.
And they started a fight. Remember, it started.
And that's what I like. Like with NBA on TNT, I appreciate everything that they're doing, but at the same time, when it goes along down the years, I think like entertainment is taking more over with them talking basketball. And every time I look at their page or I hear them, Shaq No Fool, and they have, people coming on there, rapping and things like that. It seemed like they were more interested in the, the All-Star Celebrity Game with Kevin Hart more than anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand what they're getting at and what generation they're taking over to, but I'm with Dave sometimes. I want to hear, like, basketball stuff. That's why I like ESPN Coast to Coast, because they have people covering everything for those 2 hours. That's why I'm a fan of that. None against NBA on TNT, but you have all those former players up there. Like, I understand Shaq's role, but at the same time, I want to hear Shaq give me some basketball knowledge over stuff.
I think Shaq could if you got Barkley out the way, for example. Yeah. Look, you can't have 3 of those guys. You can have 2, and that satiates the former player entertainment section. But man, you need a straight guy. It's like that's
they
why
had one at one time.
That's why who there?
Vesey. Vesey was original.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. But they won't. But see, I think what happens is Turner doesn't have like you. I don't think you can go to Turner Sports and they have basketball writers or basketball beat guys.
They don't.
Okay.
They don't.
I don't advocate Wojnarowski, for example, for not maybe wanting to be on TV, or maybe they think he's not good on TV. But I'll tell you this: the couple times that Simmons did some games last season, a couple of seasons ago, as the third guy, it was awesome. And I don't understand why, you can't get Israel or Steiny Mo,
right,
or somebody like that, or one of those true hoop guys to get out here and just give you something else other than just hearing 2 ex-players talk about
what they
mind
of
a player.
Like, I did. Yeah.
It's too much information out here nowadays for me as a watching NBA fan to always want the mind of the athlete. I already know how they thinking. I'm trying to hoop. Okay. So as far as us, I need a third person to rebut things like, when Rod Strickland was an assistant coach and Calipari, they was both coaching Kyrie. What?
Who?
And nobody corrected him on that.
Nah,
Nobody.
I think honestly, like, there's
Go away, Reggie.
Yeah. Reggie should be there. Yeah.
Good stuff, y'all. Let's take a break. Come back. Dave, I have another list for you.
What?
I have a list for you.
A list of what?
One-time NBA All-Stars.
Oh, so now this is turned into a list?
This ain't the top 10. This ain't the list I gave you. I'm going to finish this out. Interesting names, by the way. Very interesting.
Good job.
We shall return. Most Sports Talk. THAfterparty.com on the A side.
Set it off. Well, it's the Mr. Lassie, that's me on match. Come around my way, aka Al Stretch. Hey, yo, give me mic check. Nah, hold up, black. Give me that mic check. 1, 2, it's the Shaq. Hey, yo, Shaquille, fool, you know my style. I'm around my way with Big Ill and Al. Schizophrenic, don't act dumb. Hey, yo, give me mic check. 1, 2, I wanna get some Big Ill. The moment the boom dots recorder, the order, you flexing in my section, manslaughter. Pop in the tape, pump up the transistor. It's the raspy A to the L, finger to the trigger to the shell. As I open up the frequency, come on and creep with me. I let you in on the secret, G. When I grab the microphone, yo kid, I don't joke. Last year when I slammed the jam, the shit was broke. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. Now mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. It's the L.I. Stretch Shack about to get wrecked. Check it. I can freak a Shackapello. This big fellow is that your girlfriend? How you doing? Hello. A-E-I-O-U. And sometimes why? Call me Jimmy Snooker, cause I'm super fly. Now who's the man? Me, no one's greater, Big L. What's up, Shaq? Take me out with the fader. Knuckle up. Here I come, dummy. Not even Big Shaq can take a rebound from me. I'm from me, but yet still I'm paid in full. Coming through like a rhino or a raging bull. Your jugular protect your neck, because I'm strangling the gang. I'm in a league, hanging from a tree dangling. 1, 2, here I go, did not you know? When I start the floor, I'm not the average Joe Snow. Mama say, mama stop, mama who stop. Don't let me play you, not on this debut with the 7-foot SHAQ. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. Now mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. It's the L.I. Stretch Shack about to catch right. Hey, yo, I got a bling thing, throw on the camouflage, cause I'm living too large. I'm living too large. Everybody know my face, now I'm down with Shaq. With the Uptown Connect, catch wreck, you got my back. Yeah. Big L, I bounce like the ball in his hand. Now can I back to back? Yes, you can. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Rhymes I bust, don't wanna cuss. I'm in a rush, plus I'm on a warpath. So get lost, break off, step off with your sword fast. Mama said, knock who out? How that sound? Down with the brothers from Brooklyn uptown. Connect. You better hit the deck and protect your neck. When I end the mic check, I catch breath. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. It's the L.I. Stretch Shack about to get wrecked. Tell me who got my back? I got your back, Shaq. I'm Big L the Mac, creeping through the hood with an knapsack. Pants sagging, hat cocked to the rear. Stagger at the rattling because I got the beer. You to that the fork known as Mystique. Funk donker, funker. My technique is that jumping eagle fly high. Look up in the sky. Why ask why? Pleasure principle, no rump to bump. Ties my arm from Donald Trump. Inflate rhymes with my insta-pump. Tic-tac-toe, I rip that flow like a real rap pro just to get that dough. I'll scratch. Back to my black groove as I bust the jack through my rap rules. I'm that mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. Now mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. It's the L.I. Stretch Shack about to get right. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. Now mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Mic check. It's the L.I. Stretch Shack about to get right. Mic check. 1, 2.
This is Terrell Lawrence, and you listen to Mo Sports Talk.
person. Like he exists.
Their best player, the best guard on Utah is Alec Burks. He out.
He's still hurt. So they gave him $42 million. He ain't played since, huh?
Yeah, and Gordon Hayward may be the best player on the team, which is not a long shot.
Like my boy Mike Patton said.
I wonder why.
Like my boy Mike Patton said, he's one of those ski mask way participants, candidates. All right, we're back. Most Sports Talk. Just finished wrapping up our All-Star Weekend thoughts.
When does the regular season start back up again? Because I read somewhere.
Yeah, Thursday.
I read somewhere where some teams got as much as 9 days off.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I like that.
It's like basically not going to be back to the All-Star game. It's a trade deadline.
Okay, fine. And to me, and you know what? That's good because having Cleveland and Chicago play on a Thursday night and then have to travel to New York for All-Star stuff to me was utterly ridiculous. But I'm glad they got so they got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Love it. All right.
Allen
Rossum, Skyline High School's Allen Rossum.
Indeed.
All right, cool. The Rams were in the playoffs in 2004. Was that Mark Bolger team?
Yep.
Yeah, number
Very
10.
Good. All right, cool.
All right, Dave.
What's up, man?
I know last week I did NBA draft bus, and I guess I made the studio kind of mad or kind of sad.
Yeah, you didn't make us.
I was reading off like what are they doing now.
Oh, boy.
But
well, I'm glad some of them took care of a couple of their dollars.
I know it was like one of those all right moments. They doing something for themselves. But I have another list for you. These are one-time NBA All-Stars. And after I do this, I'm going to deaden this situation because I think I'm going to make Dave even more matter. All right.
Upset me. Look, I'm going to just keep finding random football games. You know what I'm saying?
Just like this one?
Like this 2000 and this is Green Bay, Chicago from the divisional playoffs. Al Harris still having nightmares of Plaxico on the post-up. All right.
Let me start off in 2002. This is a player that we did mention pre-show. This is Mr. Sharif Abdul-Rahim with an All-Star appearance.
Does Chris, true or false, does Sharif Abdul-Rahim have a 2010 season before I look the stats up?
I believe he does not. I know he has a 17-10 season.
What do you say, BMO?
If he does, it's going to be with Atlanta, not with Memphis.
Not with Sacramento?
Give me a 19-9 season.
19-9, impressive.
He was a great player during his time.
Yes, he was.
Considering that was the peak of what you would call
He played 12 years, a one-time All-Star.
Yeah.
And let's see, Sharif 20-10 for the 99-2000 Vancouver Grizzlies. 82 games, 46% from the field.
Whatever happened to him?
Also gave you 3.3 assists. I think his body failed him.
Yeah.
His last season was 07-08 for the Sacramento Kings.
Also made an appearance on the Jamie Foxx show.
Career 18-7, 2.5 assists, 1 steal a game.
All right. This is the president of the Boston Celtics. Made an All-Star appearance in 1988. Mr. Danny Ainge.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. A hated Celtic, but my God, he is up there cooking right now, boys and girls.
Yes, he is.
Danny Ainge, let's see. Of course, valuable member of the hated Celtics.
He averaged 20 points a game.
A semi-valuable member of the Phoenix Suns and Portland Trailblazers.
He was an All-Star with Portland, right?
Former baseball player, too, by the way.
All right.
In the Toronto he has a famous college moment, too. Coast to coast for BYU in the title game.
This is this point guard made an appearance in 94. He is a lefty, Dave.
I know what that is.
Good God, Chris.
Is that the short guy?
Wait a minute. No, wait, stop. Just stop right now. Back to Danny Ainge.
I was right.
Oh, my God.
Wait a numbers, huh? Yeah.
In 28 games for Sacramento, granted it was 28 games, he shot 45% from the field, averaged 20 points a game.
Right. I told you.
Danny Ainge had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons where he averaged at least 14 a game.
I told you. Danny had a 20-point game score.
Wow. All right. 94. He's a lefty.
I know what that is.
Called in, huge fan of the show. Fellow Cowboys fan, Mr. Kenny Anderson.
You know what? And with this whole New York thing, I got a question to ask everybody because I was so young at the time. And I knew of Kenny Anderson just from watching basketball, guys like him, Rod Strickland. Because every time I hear Kenny Anderson's name from all these NBA shows and players, he was the man.
Yo, let me tell you something.
What were they called? Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon 3. Okay? Dennis Scott, Dean Oliver, and Kenny Anderson. Look, Kenny Anderson he was a freshman in high school, I want to say 89-90. So No, I'm a freshman in high school. No, this is 1991. Okay, so I'm at SOC. Right as SOC is on the cusp of winning state title, and with Big Betty. Yeah, man. When he came into as a freshman, and we were like, you were at that age where you were immersed in high school recruiting, and where people were going, and this, that, and the third. Legit, man. Gave you 27-7 his freshman year. Kenny Anderson's only deal was he was just too small, like in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? He's about 6 feet. I don't think he made 200 pounds, but lightning quick. Everything you wanted from from the stereotypical New York point guard. He had him, man, with extra quicks.
Yeah, because you hear these stories about him, Rod Strickland. They said when they came to I guess we have to go back and look at them because I think we can't look at numbers because now the point guards today are just ridiculous, like Westbrook. But like guys like him, it's just like they're ridiculous. And of course, like the Lethal Weapon 3. Then obviously when he came in the NBA, he was a tag team partner with Derek Coleman when Derek Coleman was the man.
Yes, when the New Jersey Nets were like kind of good.
And they had Drazen Petrovic.
Another lefty.
Yeah.
All right. This point guard for the Atlanta Hawks made it in 1994.
Oh, man, he's in trouble right now.
Garland, Texas native. He's in a lot of trouble right now. Mookie Blaylock had an all-star appearance.
What is his real name?
I was going to say Stanley, but I don't think so. Well, yeah, he's in some trouble, but not as bad as you thought he was. Deron O'Shea, boys and girls. Deron.
It's only one other person I know named O'Shea.
O'Shea.
And we know who that is.
We ain't going there.
No, we're not. All right, in 1980, this center, who was mostly known for playing on the Chicago Bulls team and winning championships with them, Bill Cartwright, had an all-star appearance in 1980.
For the Knicks?
Yes. No.
Seattle?
He had to be in Seattle.
Okay.
2004, Mr. Baby Alien himself, Mr. Sam Cassell, had an all-star appearance.
Which I'm shocked because I thought he would have had more than one.
I would have too.
Especially during his little run he had with Minnesota.
This small forward had an all-star appearance in 95, but he did not attend it. It's Mr. Cedric Ceballos.
Enough said.
He had a good couple of years, man, especially with the Lakers.
Yes, he did. He did.
Also,
he has one of the most memorable dunk contests.
Yeah, blindfolded.
Was he really blindfolded? Was it something?
I don't know about that one. Maybe it is a conspiracy.
It is.
All right, 1994, we just mentioned him with fellow Kenny Anderson, fellow lefty, boy Derek Coleman with an all-star appearance.
Only one?
DC only has one?
Only one.
I thought he had more than one. He didn't have one with Charlotte?
Nope. All right, 2001, I call him D.L. Hughley's twin brother, Antonio Davis, had an all-star appearance. That was with the Raptors, correct?
Yeah.
And in 2000, Mr. Dale Davis, former Pacer great, had an all-star appearance.
Man.
Oh, man, look at these names. All right, 1989, Mr. Dale Ellis had an all-star appearance.
One of the best, probably, when we start talking great shooters of all time, and I always mention Ray and Reggie and all these guys. But Dale Ellis, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Imagine how good those Maverick team was in the 80s. We forget how great they were.
Right. They had, listen, if your bench was Dale Ellis and Det Left Shrimp, you know what I'm saying? Not that bad.
And Roy Tarpley off that bench, by the way, too.
Why can't they put them on 2K? Just for some good nostalgia purpose.
He was banned, yo. Yeah. All right. Keep on going down the list. Oh, 1987. William Sleepy Floyd had an all-star appearance.
San Antonio?
San Antonio. 1980, we had World Be Free.
Yeah, his name gets him. I mean, don't get me wrong, but his name is very popular.
Had former Maverick great. Made the All-Star team in 1997.
Headband.
He is a lefty, Mr. Chris Gantlett, with an All-Star appearance.
How did he make the All-Star team that year and they were that terrible? Hey, that when we were just like, hey, we got to throw somebody in there, and it was him. I got to look at them numbers.
They had, put names out to half of that. I still can't believe
he wasn't a replacement? Were we that dumb as Mavs fans just to put him in there?
No, I wasn't by votes. I know that for sure. He had been, brought on
I
by
think
the
that was
coaches.
when they did do votes, with everybody. You sure? I don't think they had players.
Nah,
they had coaches' decisions.
We got to look this up. All right. 1994, we had Mr. Goggles Hill, Mr. Horns Gret.
You know what? He should have probably been more than one.
1990, we had Mr. Iron Man here himself, Mr. AC Green.
He could have had more than one, too.
1997, as you made your case for him being the second best Timberwolves, was Gugliotta, Tom Gugliotta.
Hey, man. He's on the, me and BMO, we lurk. He's on one of the greatest Nike commercials ever.
Fun Police, good old Yellow Jackets.
When he's on the Cherokee. He better not be on that list. He ain't an all-star, I think.
You'd be surprised. All right, 1991, former Sonics great, Hershey Hawkins.
He actually made it?
He actually made it.
In 91? He was
91.
a Philadelphia 76er, right? Okay.
We have coach now of the Brooklyn Nets. It's Lionel Hollins.
Yeah, Portland.
Back in 1978.
Yeah, the Portland team. Yeah, they won a championship.
We have Jeff Hornacek in 92.
Phoenix.
That's right. Now he was
20,
in Phoenix.
Yeah, 25 points a game. 24. Yeah, he was good.
Work for ESPN right now. His only All-Star appearance in 1989, Mr. Mark Jackson.
Surprising. All-time assist. Well, where's he on all-time assist? Number 2?
He should be third now.
Third?
Is he third?
Yeah, third or fourth or whatever.
I think Steve Nash had passed.
Tells you how we underrate some of the guys like that. But yeah,
we don't underrate this guy. Back in 2010, he made his appearance, aka Sleeps himself, Mr. Chris Kaman. I think he was a replacement, but yeah, he made it.
No, he made it. No, that was when he made that. That was, he was the Clippers people. He had long hair.
Jesus,
he made that team.
Man, that Clippers team was like loaded with fours though. Remember that?
Yeah, him, Elton Brand,
Darius Miles, Odom. Man, that was loaded. Okay, we have 1997, Mr. Christian Laettner.
He's only got one.
He only has one.
That was Atlanta.
It's Atlanta.
Wow, I thought he had more than one.
I'm surprised he had an All-Star appearance, but it was like in 2003. Former Maverick great Jamal Mashburn.
He only has one.
Only has one. I think this was when he was with
Charlotte.
Either Charlotte or Miami.
I think it was Charlotte.
Nah, Miami. He was hurt a lot over there.
It was Charlotte. It was Charlotte.
That's when you.
Wow, one.
Only one.
Man, what?
Only one. And you did mention this guy before, Mr. Antonio McDyess had one in 2001.
One?
Only one.
Man, hold on.
Only one. Calvin Murphy of
one?
Only one back in 1979. Charles Oakley has one back in 1994.
Yeah, that was post Jordan. That was that year when the Knicks were like supposed to win the title, and then it happened.
How many times were they supposed to win the title though?
Until they played the Bulls.
This guy only has one. Ricky Pierce back in 1991.
The greatest
six man. One of the greatest 6 men.
He is the mecca of 6 men. Ricky Pierce won All-Star. Did you know Christian Laettner and
Laettner only has one. Only one.
Only one.
Oh, here go one. Oh, I'm surprised about this too. This was back in 2001. Mr. Theo Ratliff.
Yeah, he was just one of them guys that could like rebound really good and like play defense. So he got rewarded for that, kind of like Dale Davis.
Oh, what year was Theo Ratliff?
2001.
Y'all go ahead. 2001 All-Stars?
Yeah.
I want to see who else was,
you know
who was involved here.
You know what's funny about that? Theo went there to the All-Star game, and that's when Mutombo won Defensive Player of the Year for Philly.
They were both on that same member.
They were both on that squad.
I think Theo got hurt.
They were both on that squad. All right.
Rick Smith is one, right?
Yes, he is. 1998.
Oh, wow.
Michael Redd only has one. That's in 2004.
Breakfast and lunch.
He's one of the better shooters in the career, man. If his injuries hurt his career, man.
Okay, so your bigs for the All-NBA first 3 teams: Shaq, Mutombo, David Robinson, Dirk, Vince Carter, Chris Webber, Tim Duncan, Garnett, Karl Malone.
That was a 3-year Dirk Nowitzki, 2001.
Doc Rivers back in 1988.
Glenn.
Uncle Clifford Robinson has one in 1994.
That's another one that surprised me. Mark Jackson only got one All-Star team too, DA, by the way.
That was in 89.
Well, look. In the East, he was competing with Isaiah every year.
Joe.
Dumars,
Jordan.
et cetera. So, yeah, wasn't that many.
We have former Hawk Steve Smith has one in 1998.
I'm shocked about that one. I really am.
John Starks has one in 1994.
See, I told you 94 was when him and Oakland all that made. That was like when they were supposed to win. They were kind of like the best team in the East, and then all of a sudden, they ran to that guy.
This power forward made it in 1992. Has to have one of the oldest names I ever heard of. I even had his basketball
My
card,
man
by the
for
way.
Houston.
Otis Thorpe.
My man Otis. Hey, Otis got an underrated career, man.
Yeah, only because he was like he was like in the Melo trade. But valuable power forward for those two.
Oh, so he won the All-Star game 92. He ended up in a Melo trade too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was the power forward for those Houston teams that won back to back.
Horace Grant's another one-time All-Star too. That was what he meant.
Matter of fact,
Horace Grant only made one All-Star.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Only one.
saying. Yeah, and it was with Chicago in '94.
Speaking of old, I know
That 94
I know
also
this guy had
sucked.
nothing on Tony Massenberry, but how many trades do you think Kevin Willis was a part of?
Y'all go ahead.
And he's a one-time All-Star too, right?
No, he is not. Oh, yes, he is. You were right, Chris. In 1992.
Yeah.
Again, which makes me think about the beat. You're tall. You're always going to be on the end of somebody's roster. Where is he right
But
now?
Kevin Willis wasn't tall like that though. Kevin
What do
Willis
you
was like
mean he wasn't tall
6'9". He was
like
like
that?
6'9", 6'10".
Kevin Willis is a 7-footer.
But also, Kevin Willis has been like a freaking army man. So
Also a fan of the big elbow pads. Mr. Kevin Willis.
he had a prime flat top too.
He had a boy, that flat. Okay.
Ooh, boy.
Let's see. Kevin Willis traded
That
in
may be one of the
November.
best ones.
November of '94.
Okay.
For the first round pick that was later Walter McCarthy to the Miami Heat for Grant Long, Steve Smith, and a 1996 second round.
Walter McCarthy was a first round pick.
They like
Yes, he
lost
was.
that trade. Steve Smith. Was
Everybody off that '96 Kentucky team was almost a first
Yeah,
round
Tony
pick.
Delk.
Ron Mercer, Antoine, McCarty. Okay, traded in '96, so that's two trades with the by the Miami Heat with Bimbo Coles to the Warriors for Chris Gatling and Tim Hardaway.
Yikes.
They lost in that trade.
Trade again in '98, with a trade involving Roy Rogers, Bryce Drew, and Mersad Toucan. Traded in 2001 for players that included Keon Clark and Tracy Murray. Trade again in
I'm about to
2000.
tell Tracy how you get Trevor Kevin Willis.
Traded again in 2001 for players that included Scott Williams.
Yeah.
And a 2004 first round
NBA
draft.
legend Scott Williams.
That's right.
Yeah, be careful. You got to add that.
And a 2004 first round draft pick, which became Josh Smith. Okay. 2001 traded
been around too
again.
long.
He was traded twice in the same day by the Bucks to the Rockets for a pick that turned out to be Dan Gadzarik. And that was the last time he was traded.
Wow.
Signed a 10-day contract with
The Dallas Mavericks.
Yes, very good. Then signed a contract for the rest of the season, which he played out his career.
Oh.
So from 80 from
Where's the flat top going?
from 84 to 07, he was traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
He got traded for like 10 potential Hall of like
For
four potential Hall of Fame.
Steve Smith,
Tim Hardaway.
Keon Clark.
No.
No.
Matter of fact, where does he stand, Dave? Is he invited?
I need security, so definitely we'll be having Keon Clark.
He
in
has
the building.
he has another job. Good.
Security.
I know he has a job. That's good.
So Mavs, Hawks, Spurs, Bucks, Rockets, Nuggets, Raptors, Golden State, Miami,
I just remember him when he was
Atlanta Hawks.
when he was on that team with Atlanta with Doc Rivers and he was the man.
Yeah.
He was good with him and Doc and
He backed up Tree Rollins.
Yeah.
All right, one more on this list,
He
which I
probably
know
traded
y'all
me
be
some.
highly surprised about. This was back in '98 when the New Jersey played for the New Jersey Nets. Mr. Jason Williams, that's JAYSON.
Nah, man, you know,
Ooh-wee.
Great
we're not gonna
rebounder
talk about
by
what
Roy,
happened on
too.
the other side, but once again, he's a product of that era, man. When you was a great rebounder and played defense, you got rewarded for that back then. Dale Davis, Antonio Davis, Theo Ratliff, all these one-timers, Rick Smith, all these one-timers we naming, they all were just one-dimensional guys. They scrapped. Today's game, that gets you probably nothing.
Yeah, but you could throw it. You could throw it to Kevin Willis though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
There you go, Dave. The one-time All-Stars list.
Ricky Pierce only made one.
Ricky Pierce only made one.
He may be he's the what you call the GOAT of the 6 men, or maybe like, Ginobili maybe, but he's like the guy. Ricky Pierce, man.
Who's the modern day Ricky Pierce? Is it Ginobili?
It has to be
Or Terry?
Today, it's probably going to be Jamal Crawford.
Okay.
Ooh, look at these 2 times. Oh my God.
Don't go to 2 times.
I'm not gonna go 2 times.
That's another day.
Give me one.
Glenn Robinson.
No.
Well,
Chris's boy.
hey, man.
I give you one more.
No.
Just one more.
Okay.
Mr. Mockneck himself, Reggie Theus.
He only went twice.
Only twice. 81 and 83.
He would have went all the time if I had a vote.
Judge.
He's in there automatically.
Judge. He is so awesome.
He was on TV too.
I'm sorry, Dave. One more.
Hank Tom went for 5 years?
Yeah. Hold on. How did they get what's name? Hold on. I got to ask the question because Steelers is the coach originally, right?
Uh-huh.
But how they go to what's name for the coach after that? Dick Buckets.
Terrible.
He was available.
I'm going to end it on this.
So Dick Buckets, you gonna coach basketball?
Get ready to go to break because Dave about to be mad. From 88 to 1990, Mr. Lafayette Lever.
My man.
Hey.
Two-time All-Star.
He had some numbers.
Reggie Theus averaged double figures in his entire career except for 1 year, and he only played 31 games in that year.
Oh, my God.
Reggie Theus, man. 18 a game, career 47% shooter. Shot 82% from the three-point line, averaged 6 assists for his career. Wait a minute, man.
Hey,
Reggie Theus gave you
he better than Reggie if you look at his numbers.
Reggie Theus gave you 18 and 9 for the 85-86 Sacramento Kings in 82 games.
So
Shot 48% from the field, 82% from the free throw line.
What's his career numbers average? Assists, total rebounds, and points. Like
he's
average?
an 18, 6, and 3 guy.
So Reggie's
Don't
18,
you
3,
do that,
3.
Reggie.
I'm just saying, hold on. Reggie 18, 3, and 3. No, he's 18, 3, and 2. Spreewell's 18, 3, and 3. So, yeah. All right, Reggie. Well, you made to go in my top somewhere. Oh.
Jesus.
Prime Theus, boy.
Fat Lever. This two
Was Fat Lever on that? He wasn't on that Mavericks team, wasn't he?
Who?
No, he wasn't on that. He was in Denver then, right?
No, he went to Mavs second.
Yeah. This is nice. These two-time All-Stars nice, dog. I'm telling you.
Don't go there.
Come on, dog.
No, man. I'm finna look up my man Fat Lever's
Look up-
numbers.
Terrell Brandon was more than one.
Terrell Brandon never went.
Yeah, he did. In 94, he went when they were in Cleveland. Yes,
Ain't
he
on this
did.
list.
I will prove it to you. Terrell Brandon was an all-star.
Fat Lever, 14, 6, and 6 for his career, man. You kidding me? Include, wait a minute, dog. For the 88-89 Nuggets, he gave you 19, 9, and 6.
Wow, he was the man. Terrell Brandon, he was an all-star in the 1996 All-Star game.
Fat Lever
in Cleveland.
Done at 33. Played 81 games in his final
He's in
season.
2 All-Star games. That's why he may be on the 2 list.
Fat Lever, man.
Was
Y'all,
it-
I'm done.
Let's see if he's in this 2.
Tevin Campbell's on 2.
Yes, he's on his 2.
Yeah.
And also who's always on his 2? Mr. Terry Cummins.
Hey, Terry Cummins on Milwaukee. You know, for all you little young heads like me, I think you only know Terry Cummins from San Antonio when he was just a bench warmer. Terry Cummins was the man in 84 in Milwaukee. The Milwaukee teams with him, Ricky Pierce, Sidney Moncrief.
Man, go break, man. Go to break.
Let's go to break,
I'm gonna
man.
Look at some Fat Lever
You
videos.
young bloods don't know about that.
Young Bloods them Bloods don't know about it.
What's next, Chris?
Oh, well, we got to talk about this NBA trade deadline.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We
Take
got
that
some-
through the rest of the show. I don't care.
Yeah, so we got some good stuff to talk about when we get back.
I'm finna look at some Fat Lever
On
videos.
Mo Sports Talk.
Y'all out here tripping.
Afterparty.com.
Who made?
Like I said, hold your head, son, and only take a second. Check it out now. Come on while I wreck it. Like I said, hold your head, son, and only take a second. Check it out now. Come on while I wreck it. Like I said, hold your head, son, and only take a second. Check it out now. Come on while I wreck it. Psychopathic hit that I be dealing. Can't explain why I feel what I'm feeling. I got so many things on my mind. It's complex, but I'm about to kick the full effects. So back up, let me get my train of thought. Still chill, but I feel like I'm getting ill. I got pain from the blood rushing through my brain. It's no surprise when I feel my tempers start to rise. I'm about to snap, so you better give me room. I'm blowing up on the hit when it goes boom. Man knows what I made when I played. Crossover, hell no, they ain't a beef paid. I stay strapped, mad brothers wanna step to this. My 850 BMW is hard to miss. I'm about to blast like the homicidal psychopath. The boom bash hit the hard when you feel the rap. The idiocy's a part of me, I can't resist. My mentality is loco. When somebody said, hold your head, son, it only take a second. Check it out now. Come on while I wreck it. Like I said, hold your head, son, it only take a second. Check it out now. Come on while I wreck it. You know it don't matter to the brother. Nah. The fuck 5 figure with his finger on the finger trigger. Booyaka. I'm about to blow the whole head up. Get up. Whoever want fronts getting ripped up. Blast up like you never been blasted. Get off that hit, you dirty rotten eyes. I'm in the game, so you know my name. Cash rules everything, the Wu-Tang slang. Hit the switches, gotta stay real with Eric and yo. Peace to Red Man, the rap funkadelic got mad skills. The brothers got to chill, slam like Onyx, puffin' on chronic. All that hit got me hooked on phonics. On and on, it don't stop. Going straight to Mecca with CL and Pete Rock. What goes around comes back around. And like Grand Pooh say, you better slow down, so check it. I'm gonna wreck. Like I said, hold your head, son, it only take a second. Check it out now. second. You better step back, I'ma lose control. Ask Rakim, yo, you know I got soul. Ain't no joke, when I broke, I left it broken. Smoking like a Spike Lee joint when I'm smoking. Wake up, it's only right, kid, I'm getting shifty. Swing the nitty gritty as if I was King Griffey. Dana B's getting hostile, watch your back. Cause I stay strapped, it's all legal, how's that? Black man living lovely, how's it feel? But I still chill, cause I knows the deal. Rise the innovator, L bells the end. Peace to my brothers, been down for years. Ziggy don't give a hoe if my name is on the record. Strictly for my brothers and the others, so check it.
Yeah, this BB on the outro. I wanna give a mad shout out to my man Red Lewis. Rest in peace, bro.
Like I said, hold your head, son, it only take a second. Check it out now. People, come on while I wreck it. Like I said, hold your head, son, it only take a second. Check it out now. People, come on while I wreck it. Like I said, hold your head, son, it only take a second. Check it out now. People, come on while I wreck it. Like I said, hold your head, son, it only take a second. Check it out now. People, come on while I wreck it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Truly McCullough, a.k.a. Crazy Legs. Yeah, I got a Beam, and you listening to Mo Sports Talk. Down, down, down! That's it.
Before we make a quick turnaround for another break for our top of the hour break, the wonderful Dave.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, Chris.
What? Go ahead.
Amari Stoudemire has committed to sign with the Dallas Mavericks.
Yes, that
clap.
Yeah, I need a. Hey, man. Oh, I can't find it, but hey, I'm happy because you know what? A real Amari Stoudemire fan would know what that stat means. Standing tall and talented. That's what it means. Hey, Dave, he always knows what to do. That's why I'm going to start sending him videos of some great 80s basketball players. We were looking at the great, for all you youngins, Lafayette, Lever. For all you NBA Live 94 players, Fat Lever, as they would call him. Average darn near triple-double from 84 to 89.
Had 16 triple-doubles in one season.
Well, he averaged almost triple-double. Him and Reggie Theus, underrated 80s players. I know all you Reggie Theus, like hype beasts only know him for one thing, and that was NBA Hang Time, or Hang Time TV show. But Reggie Theus, everybody, for the Sacramento Kings. He played on those Jordan Bulls teams too, right, D.A.?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Reggie Theus, another one of those guys. You know, and I know I get called out for bashing guys like Reggie Miller a lot, but when you look at these numbers that I just saw, comparing Reggie Miller numbers to Reggie Theus, minus the three-point shots made, you almost look at the exact same player. 18, 6, and 3. Reggie Miller, 18, 3, and 2 in his career. There's a lot of good basketball players out there. I wish, you know what? Somebody asked me about that, if I can go watch any era of basketball. I know I don't like the Lakers. I don't like the Pistons or none of them teams like that. I hate them dearly. But just to see all those players, you don't realize how great players were at one point in time. You know, that's why, like, when I mentioned the argument, I had a big little Twitter thing about Glenn Robinson. You know, because I had went back and saw some things about Glenn Robinson. You know, there's not too many guys that are in the Hall of Fame that can say they average 20 points a game in their career. You know, I understand that he may have not been the best guy to play with or whatever, but, man, his skill set made him a great player. Unfortunately, he was on some bad Milwaukee teams. Ray Allen wasn't Ray Allen yet. Because you imagine if he had the Ray Allen that we saw in Seattle?
Man.
You know, just things like that. So, you know, those are the quick rants I had about, you know, basketball. I know we were talking about six men. I got a question for all you people out there listening. You know, he mentioned Ricky Pierce being a one-time All-Star. You know, Ricky Pierce was one of the first 6 men, I guess you could say, that was noted as a 6 man. Milwaukee team of 84. You know, if you NBA 2K15 people out there, go out there and play with that team. You know, Terry Cummings gets laughed at because we laugh at is that his brother, Vantigo?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's not his brother.
No, it's not. Okay. Well, we laugh because we hear that name and we're like, oh, that's a bust or whatever. But Terry Cummings, everybody, he was a prime 20 and 10 guy every year.
Yes, he was.
Consistently doing his prime. You know, Paul Pressey, the original Scottie Pippen DA. Is that what they call him?
Yeah. Yeah, the original point forward, according to Coach Don Nelson.
Yeah, the original point forward. Sidney Moncrief, another one of those 80 sellers guys that we don't pay any mind to. So some great talent out there, man, playing basketball in the 80s that, you know, I wish I grew up a little bit earlier in my lifetime so I could say I could watch those guys. And I know a lot of people would disagree with it that watch the 80s, but, man, that was a lot of talent. I'm just shocked that he was a one-time All-Star. I thought Derek Coleman called me out guard. B-Mo, you sure about that? One-time All-Star?
Dude, I am positive about that. DC for 3 only had 1 All-Star appearance.
Man, well, he did. I don't know about that, man, because in the East, yes, who was the East All-Stars? Probably prominent. Bird was done when he got in, right? I mean, there wasn't too many guys out there we was touting for, but, man, that tells you a lot, man. But when we come back from this little quick break, we're going to be talking some NBA. Got some good questions for the guys. I think this is something that me and DA talked about. We had a long conversation at his house about trade possibilities. And the 2 names that he get mentioned are for these teams. And I'm pretty sure B-Mo got some good guys. If you don't know, it's breaking news. I guess B-Mo broke this to me. If you guys are listening right now, Mark Stoudemire has committed to sign with Dallas. I guess real quick, your thoughts?
I mean, I'm just going to say, if this was Amari from 2007, 2011, I would be more happy about it. But judging from the lack of bigs and the lack of talent from the big standpoint that the Mavericks have right now, this is a good pickup. Of course, I'm not all for it because the injury history that he has, his knees are like jello right now. But if he can put up 12-7, 12-8, then, you know, that'll be good coming off the bench for them for the Mavs. So I have to see how this goes. I don't really approve of it as much, but finding out that they will not be signing Jermaine O'Neal at this time and they picked up Amari, from a depth standpoint, this is a good pickup. So we'll see how it goes.
I think it's a good pickup. I don't know if this helps the Mavs in areas that I think they need help in, which is rim protection and maybe a little more athleticism up front. But he is someone that you can throw the ball to with his back to the basket. You know what I'm saying? Playing with the second team against second team guys. I didn't realize he was giving you 12 and 6 in limited work for the Knicks this year. Yeah. I think it's a good pickup. Now, we'll talk more buyout rumors. There's a couple more names that spruced up next. But I think overall this is good, although it doesn't help what I think are the Mavs' biggest concerns.
Yeah, I like the idea because I think you got 2 guys that play that 4 position that are limited on minutes through their career. You can get them both 25, maybe minutes apiece in the game, 125, 120. And I think this helps out Dirk. I think this is the most important thing about the Mavericks because they don't have a guy on that post, you know what I mean, that can create offense for himself. Amari can do that. Now, it's not the Amari, like you said, the stat that we know that was dunking on Ola Candy or dunking people on fast breaks and catching oops. But 12 and 7 off the bench for New York. I know that's New York and that's bad, but I mean, 12 and 7 right now is the majority of these starters numbers on these good teams. So I think on Dallas, because Rick Carlisle, see, that's one thing we forget about the Mavericks. Rick Carlisle can cook. He can cook some things up for them. I like the move. I do think they do need another guy. I don't know who that is, which we're going to talk about that. Maybe there's another center out there that can help them out.
Well, let's carry this on. Let's pay these bills right quick, and let's carry this on to the next segment because I still have something to say about this trade, too. So we'll be right back. Mo Sports Talk, theafterparty.com.
Hello, everyone. This is Kai from Neo Vibe Radio. And I'm sure you've been wondering, where is Kai? Where is Neo Vibe Radio? Well, no worries. I'm back. Be sure to tune in to the new Neo Vibe Radio. New day, new time. The show premieres Thursday night, February 5th from 8 to 10 p.m. Neo Vibe after.
Well, hello, ladies. This is Shauna Cowie, and I am so excited to invite you to the I'm a Woman on Fire every Friday from 8 to 10, theafterparty.com, and we are on the A side.
Hello, I'm JB, and this is Jazz and Stuff. I host a program right here at After Party Radio each and every Wednesday from 6 until 8 p.m. We hope you enjoy the music and relax. We will get you in the best mood that you could ever be in on Jazz and Stuff. See you there.
Are you positioning yourself to be the next top entrepreneur, CEO, or industry leader? Join us weekends for ways to elevate your career with panel discussions and team building exercises among professionals for strategies needed to move in business with purpose. Hosted by Montana Mitchum and Daniil Veasley, Friday, 10 a.m. to noontime on the A side with segments The Business Connection, Boss Spotlight, and our semi-annual Bosses Brunch event. See you at the party. Get inspired, get educated, get motivated, be the change. With Mr. Community, Antoine Wiley, with his new show, In the Community. Featuring the Community Spotlight, the Bulletin Board, the Hour of Power, and the Inspirational Moment. Tune in
10 a.m. to noontime, Tuesdays.
On THAAfterparty.com.
What's up, everybody? This is E. Calloway.
And this is Felicia, and we are the hosts of Live Chat Radio.
Coming to you live every single Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
On the A side of THAAfterparty.com.
Okay, so we're two single women, but trust me, we're not just talking about the fellas because we're really talking about relationships.
So join us as we talk all things life on Live Chat Radio.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
All right, cut and print. Beautiful, guys. Dynamite.
We want, and after we take Lex Luger and the Giants, we want the gold sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
I should point out for the record, Stevie Ray, look at this. Take a look.
This is former NBA player Tracy Murray, baller, street ball coach, used to be producer, but in front of the mic as a broadcaster. You listening to Mo Sports Talk.
Down. That's it.
All right, we're back. Now it's time to talk some NBA real quick. Then I'm handing over to DA to finish it out for us, be the closer as he is.
Dave.
Mariano in the building, 42. All right, so we got this NBA trade deadline coming on the 19th, I believe. 19th. So we got
18th or 19th.
Yeah, so we got it a few days away, actually. Man, there's a lot of names that are getting bought out. As we mentioned on the break, Amari Stoudemire was bought out by the Knicks, and he has made his decision rarely quick. He's going to join the Dallas Mavericks. I think we all give a thumbs up for it, for us, like personnel having bodies. I agree with it. I think this helps out not only the Mavericks, I think this helps out Dirk Nowitzki. I think this rests Dirk a little bit now because you don't have to have the offense on the post as much anymore now with him. Be so reliant on him because guys like Charlie can only shoot, spot up, and do things like that, which I like Charlie V. I have some things about him I do like. Basketball-wise, he does. But I think it's a great move for the Mavericks. Once they get this cooking, I think it's going to take a year. If Amari agrees to come back next year on a small deal, bring him back. Just make sure it's non-guaranteed because, there's no insurance out there for that.
Not for them needs. Not for no needs at all. But I think it does help out the Mavericks a lot because maybe I'm trying to use the logic of, new team, new coach, new atmosphere. That's what I'm trying to find something positive about the trade here with the Amari Stoudemire. He did give you 12 and 7 and 25 minutes for the Knicks. But I think with a new coach, a way better coach than Carlisle, I think he'll shape him up and we'll see how this goes. But I'm just real concerned about what can he really do for this team. I think as a small lineup standpoint, you can use him. You know, you don't have to use Dirk at the 5 no more like they were doing when they were sitting down Chandler, putting in that small lineup, or overusing Chandler as they was doing so much, because I know you had to play Powell, you had play Powell and Greg Smith a whole lot, you know, when plus Chandler went down with the ankle injury. But like I said, we'll see how it goes. Adding depth to this roster, big man wise, is very, very key right now. And the Mavs have done that. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. And, of course, we will be at the games and we'll, you know, check everything out. And good for the Mavs adding them. But like I said.
And it's not just anybody. Don't get me wrong. This is not just anybody. I mean, he's not a shell of himself, but still. Everything's better than Greg Smith and Dwight Powell, right?
Yes. In terms of just skill or whatnot, but this team still needs interior athleticism, rebounding help, as we both have agreed, and you know, it still got to work through the Rondo kinks as well.
And very interesting, he selected Mavericks, because I think there's a couple teams out there that are in contention. He could easily start for.
Clippers, Suns, and I think the Spurs also were.
The Cavaliers came in with a late push as well, which I thought that if he goes to Cleveland, and that just adds on.
Which was honestly, he was supposed to go to Cleveland years ago, but Dan Gilbert decided to pick J.J. Hickson. But
well, we found out how that worked. All right, so now we're going to run through these playoff teams real quick. Right now, currently, the 1 through 8, if the playoffs start today, these teams want to remain in the playoff contention. They all got to make moves or figure out something to help out their team to keep it going. So we'll start out with the Eastern Conference real quick. We're going to start out with the number 8 seed, Miami Heat. We got a team with Dwayne Wade said he's going to be back and ready to go for the second half of the season. Hassan Whiteside, everybody, the fantasy sleeper of the year, out of nowhere. Chris Bosh still lurking around there. They did lose McBob for the season, Josh McRoberts.
Wow.
Lou Alding is still treading around. His name's been brought up in trades as well. Mario Chalmers is still there. Norris Cole looks like he doesn't want to be there anymore, and it looks like he's going to be traded. Anybody have an idea what Miami could use right now?
With them losing McBob,
some health.
Yes, health. Yeah, of course they need some needs more bandages and stuff to wrap up these players that's hurt. But I think losing McBob, I think that's going to hurt them in the playoffs because he can't guard 3s, 4s, and 5s. I think they need another big man. I mean, just to replace him. I think that's the only thing that they really need.
So you're not buying the Hassan Whiteside hype right now?
I am, but
right now, yes. I really want to see if they make the playoffs. I do want to see what he does with that.
So give me a name of a player that's out there that you like at the big. I got one for you. Since we talk about Milwaukee doing a buyout for Larry Sanders, why not Larry Sanders?
I think.
What's his basketball head like? And how much are you getting him for? And how much? Does he come off the bench? Is he okay with that?
See, that's one thing. But I think being out of Milwaukee, I'm not calling it hey, let's get this right. Milwaukee is probably a good place to play basketball, but it's not Miami, right? Miami has the city. Dwayne Wade is a staple there. He can talk to him and say, "Hey, youngin, this is what you can do." Bosh is a veteran. That's a championship
team. But is Larry Sanders' basketball head right?
So that's
I don't think it is. I think if Bucks buy him out, he has to go to some kind of rehab or treatment center just to see what's going on with him. I think he just needs a new scenery. Just got to Milwaukee. Plus, Miami will be a good spot for him, but the city though, the only thing I worry about is the city. If you get in trouble for marijuana and other things like that, and this is in Milwaukee, by the way, but you going to Miami with this, I don't think it's going to help him out. I think he needs to just go to rehab first, get his mind right, and then decide on the team. Of course, I do want to see him on the Mavericks because, like I said, adding him behind a Tyson Chandler would be great. Larry Sanders is not a bad player at all. He's a very good player. But, like I said, with him and Monte and what happened with Milwaukee, I don't think that may be a good idea right now. But I think just like Dave was saying, get him some help first, see where his mind is. I don't think his mind is at the right place, and then find him a team. But Miami is a good spot for him.
Dave, anybody you can think of?
No, I'm trying to read on those things in terms of what they could do. But look, if they get health from Wade, and somehow stop this horrible home performance,
which is unusual.
The question becomes: they're what, 3 up in the loss column on Brooklyn, Detroit, and Indiana, and I think Boston.
No, they're a 1 up.
Even worse.
Brooklyn.
Can they get caught?
Yes.
Yes.
I think
All right,
the team
cool.
that I'll be most fearful of will be Detroit, because I think Detroit found something in the middle of the year. Detroit could use a guy like Larry Sanders off the bench as well. Just another big guy, because after Drummond, his foul troubles, who do you have?
Who did I see them throw out there?
Jerebko?
Is that who that is? They out there playing Kyle Singler as a stretch
And
four.
Diatami, Luigi Diatami.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so I like seeing them in Indiana. Why not? I think Indiana has a
They
culture
can't
there.
score, man.
They can't score.
That's a problem.
And how long if Paul George comes back and plays 18 of those final games? How many games is he going to need to get warmed up?
And that's what I'm saying. Like 18 games left, and plus, let's see how far they out of the playoff picture. I think they're going to see how far they out of that playoff picture, and then decide to bring him back or not. Because that's added on pressure to Paul George, saying, "Okay, we got 18 games left.
How many games is going to take him to get in game ready? Go.
I say about 7.
I think it's going to take
about
whole
7 or 8,
season.
dude.
So I agree.
I think he just sit out. Just sit out for the whole
trauma,
season.
The shock proof of him, what happened to him. His game is all above the rim.
The better question is what to do with David West. He has a $12.6 million player option for next year. If you trade him, as Zach Lowe wrote today, that signals
perfect team.
That signals the end. But if they look up and say, "Hey, we can get to the playoffs with Paul George," you keep David West and deal with that 12.6 next year.
I'll tell you a team that'll be perfect at that. Charlotte. If you want this LLR back,
you can't play him and Jefferson at the same time, though.
Yeah.
No, you cannot.
They can't read. They're not a real good rebounding team at that point either.
All right, next team.
All right, next team, the Charlotte Hornets, the 7th seed currently.
They need Kemba Walker health. I would like for them to get another wing guy, but I don't think they don't have the assets to go after one of the Nuggets guys.
They don't.
All right, and those Nuggets guys are Chandler and Aflalo.
No, they don't have no pizza for that. Unless you're gonna do something with Gerald Henderson.
So you hope for return health of Kemba Walker. They're in the 7th seed right now. So
Could you bow back to the 4 and put Larry Sanders at the 5?
Again, what's Larry Sanders' basketball head like? If his basketball head is right, then the line to me starts forming, to the left.
To the left, exactly.
Okay, because he's a rim protector. He's a valuable piece.
All right. Next team, the Milwaukee Bucks, the 6th seed currently. I think they just stand put because they're in a bad situation where they got injuries, and you really can't just say, "Hey."
They're still winning though.
Yeah, you got the Greek Freak. I mean, Jabari's gonna be back next year. We'll see how that goes. Now they're gonna have to find them a backup center now.
But what about just this year? They should just. Do you think they should be happy with just having a 6th or 7th seed and possibly playing 6 playoff games this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But the only problem is the team that they're going to be playing against at the playoff start date will be those Cleveland Cavaliers.
You get the experience where you can.
All right. So Cleveland Cavaliers. What are we looking at?
How about we just take the top 5? Who at the top 5, in your opinion, Chris, should make a move? Has to make a move.
Atlanta.
Why?
I feel like they're peaking at I'm gonna use your theory about this peaking early.
Okay.
They're peaking too soon. What happens if all these Corver can't shoot in the playoffs? Because the problem is they're a matchup. The problem is they run into a matchup problem. They go against Cleveland because they're gonna put LeBron on your best wing player, which is gonna be Kyle Korver.
Okay.
Which eliminates him from all kind of shooting, and then you're gonna have Jeff Teague, him going against Kyrie. Don't get me wrong, I like Jeff Teague a little bit more, but he's gonna be tired guarding Kyrie like that all game. And I think that who's gonna be the guy that can score on the wing for them? DeMar Carroll. We like DeMar Carroll. See, to me, they can use
a limited role. Yes, I do.
They can use a guy like Wilson Chandler.
I don't disagree with that.
Or Aaron Aflalo, because now they lost Cephalosha for the season. So they lost Cephalosha. I like people like Bays guy, Kent Bazemore. I'm sorry. This Dennis Schrader. I want to say his name right, Schrader. They like this guy. That team to me, what I don't like about that team, they're small. And I think they're going to run into a problem.
They have no rim protector.
And see, to me, they run into Cleveland in the playoffs. Tristan Thompson and Mozgov are going to have a field day rebounding.
So you say Atlanta?
I think Atlanta.
Okay, I think Toronto. Okay, BMO is raising his hand and nodding, and raising his finger and nodding approval. This team, Leaky defense, yes, but I think part of this is this brickathon that's going on defense. Okay, I read that they have Landry Fields and Mr. Chuck Hayes as trade pieces, along with Terrence Ross in their first round pick. I don't know what value. I don't think that gets you anything from the Nuggets. Okay, and honestly, I don't think that Wilson. I don't know if Wilson Chandler or Aflalo is an appreciable.
I think a
upgrade over Terrence Ross.
I don't shoot. You can do DeRozan back to 3.
I don't think so.
What do you like? You like DeRozan at the 3?
Yeah, I'm not liking him at this 2 position because he can't shoot.
And that's the problem right there. I like DeRozan, but like I said, they have no shoot. Their best shooter is Kyle Lowry, and he's barely cracking 40. He's barely cracking 40. They need a perimeter shooter bad. I mean, I have no problems with them, going to the basket and scoring inside. Had no problem I had no problem with their defense either, but they need a shooter bad. They have nobody that can space the floor for that team because it's good you're going to the basket, but you don't have a post player or you don't have nobody that can open up and space the floor at a perimeter shooter. Aflalo and Chandler may be your only options as shooting goes. Your best shooter may be Wilson Chandler because he's good on the corners. Aflalo was just a scorer to me. Maybe Wilson Chandler may be your best bet. Put him at the 3, but like Chris said, he liked DeRozan better at the 3. But if you can get Chandler, that may help. But I don't think his shooting is good enough to get them past or maybe get to a Eastern Conference Finals.
Another guy that I would like on both of those teams, Toronto and Atlanta, right now he's sitting in Philadelphia, KJ McDaniels.
Why would Philly do that? I mean.
Well, I know he doesn't. He's free next year.
Okay.
And I don't know if that, his market's going to be very high.
Is that because what was he, a second round pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
And his market's going to be high. And I'm pretty sure there's some team like Dallas or some team out there, that's going to be lurking and say, hey, man, for $6 million a year, he's good. And, he's a guy like him coming from that team to go to a team that's in the playoff hunt, that's going to give him a fresh breath of energy too. Mm-hmm. And he's going to do really good in that. So he's a guy. It's not too many teams out there with available shooters. I mean, Orlando got a guy like Tobias Harris out there that you could throw in the equation, but none of these teams need a guy that's 6'9". Because to me, Toronto is more fit for the playoffs right now because I like what Jonas Valanciunas and Amir Johnson can offer. Like Amir may be your best shooter on the team, which is sad to say
because he ain't getting no plays ran for him.
Yeah, exactly. And when he'll hit the shot. The problem is after that, it's the brick squad coming in.
Who does Toronto won the second round?
Chicago.
You sure?
I mean, first round. I'm sorry.
First round.
Okay. Charlotte, they like that matchup with Charlotte. Well, hold on. They're going to get Milwaukee because we all seem to be in consensus that Cleveland will catch them for the second spot.
Okay, so right now, Cleveland may get to the second. Cleveland gets the second spot. Toronto keeps that third spot. They get Milwaukee. That's going to be a tough matchup because Kidd does some things basketball-wise, but at the end of the day, Milwaukee doesn't have that guy. Because I think Brandon Knight's going to understand what he could do against Kyle Lowry. And then after that, you hoping Greek Freak just has some kind of marvelous thing against DeRozan. I think that's going to be the issue. And also, they're going to need a big man. Because if they're going to go against Toronto, one thing Toronto does pretty good is defensive rebound with Amir Johnson and Jonas. So I think that's a tough matchup. I think Chicago's another team that need to make another move. I've been hearing Taj Gibson name brought up. I don't know what team he would go to.
Yeah, he been in a lot of rooms as well.
They need a 2.
Who's taking that? Okay.
Who's taking that contract?
Who's taking the contract? Gibson got 2 years, $20 million left, which is fairly reasonable in today's NBA standards.
Well, the legend rumor now that's been brought up is Taj Gibson going to Denver for Aaron Aflalo.
Okay. Anybody saying why it makes sense for
Chicago? Does it make sense? Does it make sense for Chicago?
I think it does because for years. The same thing we talked about with the Philadelphia Eagles in football, getting a wide receiver. For years, we have screamed to Chicago, get a 2-guard. Get a legitimate 2-guard. Let's not be throwing these hybrid threes like Jimmy Butler at the 2, trying to figure out if we can do that because he can play defense. You need a 2-guard. That's their issue. Because right now, your starting lineup has Kurt Heinrich at the 2. He's already your best player off the bench on most nights. What do you do about that? Each one more is going to be
I think the Bulls have to hold pat and get healthy and continue to play with the unit that they were going into the season with. And that includes Derrick Rose, who's playing now consistently. You have to make sure Noah stays healthy and Butler stays healthy. And Dunleavy. See, to me, I don't think you trade Taj Gibson because you have Noah's health is a concern and they don't have another big after that. Okay. I think a team like the Bulls should stay pat because I think once if they get healthy, then cool. I don't think trading Taj Gibson. I don't think you get in return what you need.
So I think they're gonna have an issue when they play a team like Cleveland, which anybody would. But now that Cleveland has JR playing on all cylinders, guys like Amon Shumpert,
you got to guard those guys, and I don't think they have enough perimeter defenders to defend all right. If Shumpert and JR is playing good like that, hitting threes, Shumpert, he's two-way player.
Who's holding? You gonna have Dunleavy out there holding JR or somebody?
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
And that's the thing. That's why I like Aaron to follow because I think now on the flip side, what happens if they go against Cleveland and who's stopping Tristan Thompson in the paint? Then you have no Taj Gibson, you have nobody.
Matter of fact, let me ask you this, Dave: who is the Bulls' second best perimeter defender?
Perimeter defender?
Yes.
Maybe
Tony Snell. Yeah. I guess it would be Tony Snell or whatever you feel about Derrick Rose's defense.
Yeah. And that says a lot. So we thought about the East. Anybody Washington? They need a six man. They need a six man.
They need bodies.
They need bodies.
Yeah. And to me, and I think they should be looking at, hey, they're not gonna have a high first round pick. Otto Porter's been a waste. You got to figure out something.
And we gave Otto Porter some props, didn't we, Dave?
I listen to too much Washington, D.C. radio.
I'm
done.
To me, I think Wilson Chandler's another guy that can help this team off the bench. He knows his role. I know they can't get Aaron to follow because there's nowhere he fits on that team unless he wants to be a six-man. Maybe a guy like Nate Robinson. They need something off the bench because the problem they're going to run into in the playoffs is this. Rasul Butler is going to be your best player off the bench. He got to be relied to score 15 to 20 points in the game. In the playoffs. If John Wall don't want to shoot. Because last year you ran into this last year. When John Wall and Bradley Beal went on that little scoring bench in the playoffs against, who was that, Indiana DA? Where he didn't want to shoot the ball. And all of a sudden you couldn't have nobody on the bench score. And Andre Miller became the guy that had to score. You lost the game. They don't have a guy. See, that's the problem. They don't have a guy off the bench. The starting five is lovely. Now, what they should have did was this. Left that starting five alone like they did when Garrett Temple was playing the two and he was hitting all those threes. And let Bill come off the bench. And then you got some formula. But they got this fascination with Wall and Bill. So I think they need to make a move for a bench player. Get bodies. Something. Because I think that's big. Now on to the West. Where the nitty-gritty is at. So.
Start with the Pelicans and move up. Because the Pelicans need.
So the Pelicans.
They need some health. And they need to decide what to do with Ryan Anderson. I heard he's being involved in trade rumors.
And Eric Gordon as well. So Drew Holiday should be back.
Does he have big time value though?
To a team that needs a big two guard like
Eric Gordon? Okay.
Yeah.
Eric Gordon, yeah. I mean, he's still a good player, but man, he's already just
his knees.
He's just so fragile.
Pace.
Yeah, he's on Mario pace. He's just so fragile.
New Orleans. I like the 4 and 5. We kind of like that. The problem is what happens when Tyree gets hurt. Eric Gordon gets hurt. Who's their best wing player? So. And to follow, once again, Wilson Chandler. You seem to be the two hot names out there. Anybody? Tobias Harris?
A.K.A. J. Cole?
If I'm Orlando, why?
Hold on. But why would you trade
the Orlando
Harris,
project is already done?
Right. Why would you let Tobias go, though?
He might not be coming back. He's a free agent.
Who?
I'll keep Tobias?
Okay.
I'll keep him.
Well, if he wants to come back.
I'll keep him.
If he wants to come back, that's what you're going to do is convince him. So... Anybody got it? New Orleans just need bodies.
Okay, they need bodies. Will they get to the 8th seed?
No. Oklahoma City is the next team we got to talk about.
And all I'm asking about Oklahoma City is, again, like I asked the boys on off air, would you rather have Brook Lopez or Mitch McGary and my man go to Steven Adams?
Steven Adams and Mitch, because you seen what Mitch McGary can do when he finally gets men to get playing time.
Yeah, that's before we get the film.
But you're right. When you get film on him, Mr. Glass is going to have to make some alternatives and see where he can put McGary. And Steven Adams has already been in the system and know his role already and had the experience. I like Steven Adams a whole lot. Glad he's starting, but him and McGary, I like Lopez, though, because he know his role, and he showed his role a whole lot, but he just plays no defense. That's the problem.
And I also think that team is too dependent on two guys to run the whole system, and there's nowhere Brook Lopez fits in that team. I do say a guy, and I know I keep bringing his name up, but if the attitude is right, D.A., Larry Sanders will be a good guy for Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Because you can let Ibaka get out to that little 12-foot, what do he want to do? Because, he everywhere. So They got to figure out what they're going to do with Reggie Jackson. Because I think he's gone anyway. So why not get something for him while you can? I like the Deion Waiters move. I think he fits in there a little bit. He figured out some things. Plus, he's only got on the bench they got that want to score, it looked like, half the nights. So, I don't know, man. Like, to me, like I already told you on paper. I've already told him 100 times. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm telling everybody on live air right now, if Golden State meet them in the first round, Golden State in trouble. I don't know. Y'all can't tell me. Y'all can. I know Golden State is the best team in basketball right now, but that's a matchup problem. If KD and Westbrook are healthy, you talking about a whole nother animal.
You know what? Okay, and then you know what? I think you're right, but as in order to risk KD's wrath, the questions about Bobby Shmurda, aka Reggie Jackson, Scott Brooks, and then the barbecue villain are well intended. Okay, these are legit questions that have only recently started being asked. Okay, I just think I would kick the tires around Brook Lopez because I don't think in this league you can have enough scoring options as the Spurs proved last year. But look, when you can throw out KD and Westbrook and Ibaka for 35 to 38 minutes a game, I love your chances of winning, and I think that you rely on that.
Yeah, so I like to see them figure out what they're going to do as far as like the big position. Maybe Larry Sanders' head is right. Not too many other guys out there that are like on winning teams that that want to trade, but those are some good names out there. I don't know what Detroit's going to do with Greg Monroe because he's been a name that's been brought up 1,000 times, and I don't know what Stan Van has over there cooking right now. But I don't
think he goes anywhere until the season's over. Yeah, like I said, me and Dave already been messing with him, but gambling on himself, and so we're gonna see how that goes. I don't think he goes anywhere.
Who?
Greg Monroe.
In a trade?
Oklahoma City?
No, this team is trying to get to an 8th seed, and I don't think they interrupt that.
If they get Bobby Shmurda to replace Brandon Jennings?
No. Because look, I asked this to a couple of friends of mine. How long before DJ Augustine gets him like a 2 or 3 year deal? Or is the fact that his play is being contingent on his seat being on fire in the form of having 1 year deals every year?
Yeah, then he always shows up at the right time when somebody hurt.
Right.
Okay.
All right, so the next team on board, the Phoenix Suns, currently at the 8th seed. This team has all kind of weird positions. Where's Dragic, even Bledsoe? What are we doing here? Three-point guards.
Okay, you have to decide that you got to get something for Dragic, okay? This isn't like football or baseball getting a compensatory pick for losing a free agent, okay? Plus, I just don't think – listen, Dragic looks – you've got Bledsoe under contract for 4 more years. You got Isaiah under contract for 2 more years. Mm-hmm. As an expiring, he's going to be easier to trade.
Yes.
Okay?
Also, I heard a rumor of Phoenix wants no less than a first round of football.
Everybody wants first round picks.
Yeah, everybody wants first round picks now.
Ever since, and then it's really been emboldened by Cleveland, getting Denver getting 2 first round picks for Mozgov because they want multiple first round picks for both Wilson Chandler and Aaron Aflalo. If I'm Phoenix, I'm trading Dragic, to be honest. Okay. Now, they're still looking for big men to play around Markieff Morris and those guys. I do think, the Alex Len, the Plumlee brother, I don't think those experiments are worth looking at. But this team has had the most sucker punch losses this season. I mean, how many buzzer beaters are we up to?
They lost every team that's in the playoffs right now.
I saw a highlight. It was either, like a Taco Bell highlight. They were saying NBA buzzer beaters. I think Phoenix was in 3 of them. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if they end up losing this playoff seed by like 1 or 2 or 3 games, they're going to look at those buzzer beaters and be like, damn. Okay? So I think they trade Dragic, try to get an athletic big man in here, and just let that Bledsoe, Isaiah Thomas deal run rampant.
And Nez Canner probably. That's the name we keep bringing up. That may be the only name that's, like a center. Because they don't have any, ain't too many, in this case. Again, we got to talk about Larry Sanders.
It's not a lot of options out there. I mean, Cantor is a good option to me, but as, Dave was telling us over the break, Lowe was explaining how Cantor was a Heisman actor in Utah. When we met Cantor, during a Mavs and Jazz game, we were seeing how good he was in developing and things of that nature. But now I was seeing him during the season has been a little lazy. He has been slacking off on defense and things of that nature. But I still want to give him a chance, a benefit of the doubt if he can improve and get better. Maybe it's just a team that he's on, but I think that's a good option as well. Not a lot of bigs I heard that's a good option besides Larry Sanders, but his head ain't right now. But Cantor is a good one.
So interesting teams in Dragic, Los Angeles Lakers foremost, the Miami Heat.
Yeah, they could upgrade their point guard department.
Who do they give up?
Who, the Heat? They've got contracts they can give up. And they got some cap space, too, by the way.
Who do the Lakers give up?
They don't give up anything because they don't have anything to give up. They hope Dragic hits unrestricted free agency, and then you can just talk to him straight like that.
All right. So, next team, currently the 7th seed, the San Antonio Spurs.
Chilling.
They don't need anything.
Keep going.
They
Just
don't
health.
need nothing.
More improved health and more games together to get all that to get the chemistry rolling.
There we go.
All right.
Los Angeles Clippers.
Well, considering that they basically traded Austin Rivers for Jordan Farmar, Reggie Bullock, Jared Dudley, 2 first-round draft picks, Poole Richardson, and Larry Brown, they can't do anything. They would love. We talked about this before. They would have loved to get in on the Jeff Green sweepstakes.
Should have,
but they couldn't. They didn't have no assets.
Matt Barnes, he's a Spurs.
Who wants 34-year-old Matt Barnes?
No. So this team's basically done, from what we know.
Well, I think that they're stuck. They have to wait on health from Brook and hope that those like the Spencer Halls continues to improve his play. They keep Redick healthy, and I don't. Look, you've got to do something with Austin Rivers. You have to play him because you can't just bench him. You don't have anybody else out there.
Exactly.
And so you have no choice.
I think maybe bringing a guy like Nate Robinson.
Yeah, but do they even have the cap space for
I believe they may have just for him. A small deal.
Okay.
All right. Next team on board. We just talked about them getting Amari Stoudemire, the Dallas Mavericks.
Still need another big man. I mean, but I do also want to add they do need a backup shooting guard as well. I think they find a backup shooting guard to fit that team. I think that would be good for them.
Boy, you know something? That even with the Amari news and the Jermaine O'Neal news, they still need a rim protector. I still would like for them to get some sort of athleticism along with Tyson Chandler on the front court. I agree with the perimeter guy. I mean, what's the 2-3 depth rotation currently?
Not good. I mean,
after Chandler Parsons and Monte, who are we throwing out here? Now,
Richard Jefferson, Devin Harris, J.J. Barea.
There was Marcus Thornton and Tayshaun Prince buyout rumors. Those interest you too as a Mavs fan?
like
Tayshaun Prince, yes.
I like Marcus Thornton.
You like Marcus Thornton?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me Prince.
And you take Tayshaun Prince. All right. Other than that, the Mavs have sort of shot their shot in terms of making a trade in the Rondo and the Knicks trade that they made. So in terms of assets, you got Richard Jefferson on expiring. Aminu on expiring, but he seems like a rotation keeper.
Yeah. See, that's nothing. I also think once they get, Rondo back in, they start cooking some things up. This may be a different team because rebounding wise, he makes them a little better as we saw. So we'll see how it works. I think the biggest thing for this team is health as well because we've seen the last 2 weeks of the halfway season. Chandler get hurt.
And Rondo went down.
Monte
Then Devin Harris had a little injury, but he came back. Yes.
Dirk is tired, so maybe this All-Star break played them a little good in their favor. So we'll see. I do think there's a couple of guys out there. Salary cap-wise, Mike Fisher brought up a good trade. He did on the trade with the contract stuff. Maybe like he mentioned, the aforementioned Richard Jefferson, Raymond Felton contracts. Tie those in together. Kevin Martin becomes your sixth man.
I heard there was a rumor like that, too, that was trying to get Kevin Martin.
I mean,
as
if you need a guy that can score off the bench, a tall guard, a wing player that can just shoot, there you go. And I think that he's already been in that role before with Oklahoma City, so he understands what that takes. I don't know how that works for the Mavericks going forward, but that was a move. All right, Houston, currently in 14. First off, we got to worry about Dwight, correct?
Well, he's coming back next year. That was more or less of a, his contract is up in 2 years. What do you do about that? But
health-wise,
we see the rumors that, Josh Smith's improved play has possibly made Terrence Jones available. They have their own picks. They also have expirings in Jason Terry and my man Costas, other Greek. So they've got some things they can be done. Look, I asked in a chat in a Google Hangout room, how does this sit with Patrick Beverly? You know what I'm saying? And are we all in agreement that Houston needs to upgrade their point guard? Or is depth more or less the deal?
See, I don't like the idea of them losing Patrick Beverly because he brings a certain toughness to that team that they lack, like that bulldog. Because if they don't run, they get Dragic. Man, I feel bad for them when they play Golden State in playoffs or somebody.
And that's the thing that I was telling one of my friends. He's a Rockets fan. He was like, adding Dragic will be good for them if they can keep Beverly or they let go of Beverly. I was like, yeah, it'd be good. You can play both of them, but at the same time, who are they going to guard? That's going to be another small backcourt. You don't have to guard somebody, especially in the Western Conference. Who are you going to guard on that perimeter? You lose defense by getting Dragic. Of course, you gain a lot of offensive power by having Dragic and Harden at the same time. Might free up Harden, get him some rest on offense. But you lose a lot of defense if you're benching Beverly or giving up Beverly because that's your best perimeter defender right there because the damn sure ain't Harden. So you get offense. Like I said, it's bittersweet because you get more offense, but you lose in defense on perimeter by starting Dragic. And like I said, who's going to go in the playoffs?
Yeah, and I just think that Dragic, unfortunately, is one of those guys that people complain about Rondo, but Rondo don't like to shoot. Dragic is a guy that not only needs the ball in his hand, he got to get shots too. And with James Harden there, you don't need a guy. See, to me, if they can find a guy that can shoot the three a little better but play extreme defense, then that's good. But to me, Dragic is all you doing is basically trying to counter what Dallas did with Rondo. And I think that makes no sense for them. What I'll be worried about with their team is going to be size. Because if they don't have Dwight, man, right now in the playoffs, they play Dallas in the first round.
Dallas was salivating for that.
Yeah, and Dallas was hoping that happens. And if Dallas were to fall down, they play the Clippers in the first round, which is even worse. Because guess what? DeAndre's going to have 30 rebounds in the game.
Oh, Wojciechowski just made a tweet about Mr. Dragic.
What is it?
Saying his Goran's agent plans to meet with the team officials Tuesday, but Phoenix determination is still unchanged. Suns want to re-sign him.
I don't understand. They focus on these three. Jeff Hornacek probably cooking up some over there, but if this don't work out in year 3, they need to consider making a move, a change, because I don't understand why they're giving 3 point guards all this money. All right, next team. DA's team out there in the West Coast, Northwest area, Oregon, Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah.
What are we doing about Portland?
Look, Zach Lowe read something pretty good, wrote some pretty good things. Look, they've got 3 free agent starters on the horizon. So if they make a move, it's about going in now. Now, I'll assume right now that LaMarcus Aldridge will stay. The questions about Wesley Matthews and Robin Lopez have been discussed. But for what we know, that starting 5 is pretty good. I mean, you can make an argument from 1 through 5. That's
the best.
That is the best in the West, okay? But they also have horrible depth issues, okay? Will Barton not getting enough time. Steve Blake and Chris Kaman, big off-season depth acquisitions, not playing up to par.
McCollum nowhere to be found.
McCollum still struggling with his game. So these guys to me will be ones that are in need of maybe some more veteran infusion off the bench. I think also that they're in an interesting position of health. Like if they get their bodies back and have a nice 1 through 8 rotation. But health and the fragile confidence of a Nick Batum, for example, weigh down on this team heavily. I would assume they would listen for offers. They may even be in the running for some buyout guys, for example. But I think the only way this team improves is to make a trade. And that, I don't know if breaking up the starting 5 to make a trade for anybody out here has.
I think the guy they could target is a guy like Kevin Martin off the bench. They need scoring off the bench. That was the issue going into the season. That's the issue going on right now. Because once again, like you said, Batum has his moments where he can't shoot. Confidence is gone. Wesley can't hit threes every game. Although he's doing a good job doing it, can't hit threes every game. Damian's going to shoot himself out of the game one day. What happens? We got C.J. McCollum. So I think a guy like Kevin Martin. Minnesota has a lot of guys on their team that are trade pieces. So Interested to see what they do over there. Thaddeus Young. Nobody's mentioned Thaddeus Young. I like Thaddeus Young on most of these
What's his
teams.
contract like? Does he? What is?
I think he's one of those 330 guys. From
Okay.
like a year ago.
I'll look that up, and you tell me what playoff contender Thad Young thrives on.
Which is going to be the team we talked about last, but the next team, the Grizzlies.
They got the Jeff Green trade. They shot their shot. To me, it's just all about improving chemistry. I mean, I don't know if they would be in on any of the buyout rumor guys because they already had Tayshaun Prince. So I don't know.
Someone said that Nate Robinson is highly. Both of these teams are highly interested in him. It's because I think the issue with this team is they have scoring droughts really bad.
Thad Young under contract through next year, at 9.1 this year, 9.7 next year.
Clippers, somebody?
Yeah, but see, again, the Clippers don't have any assets to trade.
So Memphis, only I don't like about Memphis, I don't like what they have. I mean, don't get me wrong, Vince Carter is great off the bench, but he's doing terrible this year right now as far as like play. He's shooting 20%, 25% from the field. He's been limited on certain things. To me, you want to talk about starting fives, they may have the best starting five in the NBA. I mean, when you look at that, Mike Conley at the point guard, Courtney Lee, who plays really good basketball, Jeff Green, who plays really good basketball, Zebo and Gasol. That may be one of the best starting fives in the league. And I think that right now they're in a bad situation because guess who they play in the first round of playoffs starting today? The San Antonio Spurs. They may get outclassed.
I don't think so.
The age caught up with the Spurs.
I just think, and the fact that there is a familiarity.
Oh yeah,
familiarity component with those guys, and I just think that right now in 7 games, man, Memphis is the better team.
Yeah, like I said, Memphis really can't do anything for his moves, but I mean they got to figure out something for the bench. I mean they got Kalatis. I tell you, the guy that's really been stepping up this year, nobody's mentioned, Bano Udrih, who's been playing really good. Mm-hmm. He came in for Mike Conley during this time when he was out for about a couple of weeks, hit a couple of game winners, I believe. Had a couple of nights on 19 and 10, back-to-back, fantasy dividends for a lot of us. But outside of that, I don't know. The problem I have with them is health. What happens if Zebo gets hurt? John Lewis, your starting power forward?
Look, if that's okay, you can just insert any name in any team into that part. I mean, they've gotten pretty good health. I mean, if you want to tell me what acquisition any team could make, it would be the good health elixir. But I don't think they need to make a move only because they made their move in the Jeff Green trade.
All right, last team, and once again, I'm on a high note of saying both of these two teams need to make a move. Both of the best teams in each conference, Golden State. I'm concerned with Golden State for one reason. I think it's going to be size. Because I know we like Bogut, but are we still trying to – because my thing is this. We like Bogut, but is Bogut going to be Bogut in the playoffs?
Again, that's a health concern. If you want to ask for an acquisition, hey, we all want the health elixir. My thing with Golden State is they have a David Lee decision to make. Either incorporate him into the offense because there are parts of their offense, Chris, that what you disagree with them has merit, okay? In terms of like maybe shooting a few too many jumpers and not necessarily having a post presence. You can throw it to David Lee with his back to the basket. Problem is David Lee makes $20-something million, and for a team that's going to have to re-sign Curry in a couple years, the Klay Thompson extension will be kicking in. You're going to have to make a decision about Draymond Green.
Iguodala.
That Tim, and maybe not being able to trade the Iguodala contract. I think if they had their choices, they would rather trade Iguodala and get some depth back for that as opposed to David Lee. But they have to make a decision on David Lee. Who's going to take the contract? And if nobody can take the contract, you have to integrate him into the offense because he's going to be needed when the playoffs come.
My problem with Golden State is this, B-Mo, and I'm going to ask you this. We like Draymond Green here as a collective. He's only 6'5". What happens if you get into a series with Portland and Portland's rolling and you got him guarding LaMarcus? This sounds like Terrence Jones all over.
And that's the thing with Portland because they like to expose those matchup problems. And with Draymond Green, of course, I'd rather him be more of an inside player than shooting all these threes like that. But like I said, we'll see how this goes. He can be easily exposed against a Portland team where they will take a part of the mismatches with pick and roll and posting up LaMarcus. And also, you got to make Draymond Green, like, they will expose his weakness, which is defense. I don't see him play defense that much at all. Him being 6'5", I do like to see him doing more, but he go against Portland, man. Portland will expose that, and that'll be hard to see.
Yeah, and I think another issue with Golden State that I concern myself with, I like Curry. I mean, Curry, he's the man. But, they got Sean Livingston on the bench. And I don't know how good Sean Livingston's going to be going into the playoffs, but that's a total shock of change when they had to bring him in. Because, if you look at most of these winning playoff teams that have won a few years, you had Tony Parker, right? He did his thing. You brought in Patty Mills. Maybe not as good as Tony Parker, but the game is, the pick and rolls, the ability to do certain things that Tony Parker does. Because once you lose Curry out of the game, Sean Livingston ain't going out there shooting 30-foot threes.
But he does play his game though. He plays his game. He takes small guards down low. Might not be as quick as he was, before the whole knees and things went down. But I think he's a nice change of pace guard. They're giving Drew Holiday's brother a few minutes here and there. Okay. Are they counting on Brandon Rush to make any sort of contribution?
See, to me, they don't have a guy on the bench that, like every championship team we've had in the past, like 4 or 5 years, they've had that guy on the bench that just is the spark. Like when like the
they gotta hope Iguodala is that,
and that's my problem. That's my problem.
Having to see, and I think that becomes a major problem
if you
don't know what to do with David Lee.
Right.
Yeah.
If you get David Lee can get you 15 off the bench in a playoff game in limited minutes. Plus, he's the only player that they have. I mean, other than Curry, of course, he's the only player that they have that can do what he does. Like, I can't think of anybody else on Golden State that can play with their back towards the basket.
Nobody.
And even Lee's not really totally, competent at that. But they're gonna need that because of the concerns you always speak on their offense.
Yeah, because to me, the games that they've lost, like a lot of people say, well, they only lost 9 games. Yeah, but a lot of these games, luckily, they've been bailed out by shooting, but they also killed themselves. Because my thing is this: they got bad habits on this team. And that shooting thing is, I don't know why they keeps coming to my head. They remind me of that Mavericks team in 06, 07. That 07, 08 team that won like 67 games. They won all those games, and then they ran to the playoffs against a team that they couldn't play against real good, which was, by the way,
and you tell me who's their 5 to 8 bad matchup?
Oh, Oklahoma City. I think right now, honestly, San Antonio is scary because, man, them ways will catch up with you with San Antonio. I'm telling you, man, like,
I think if I'm Golden State,
I want the Clippers.
I want the Clippers, and I want the Thunder because I think the Thunder will allow you to play the style you want to play, and I also think they can dictate the matchups. Okay, you're gonna have to put Draymond on KD. You're gonna have to expect Sean Livingston to do something on KD as well, and
to play big.
Thompson is gonna have to make Westbrook work on defense.
Has to.
See, what I think is the problem with that would be is this: when it comes to the bench, because then you got Reggie come off the bench, which he's gonna be a matchup problem because his speed. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people laugh at this, but if Dion Waiters is playing right, man, he becomes a problem. And I think that those are things that you got to look at. And also, man, when they get in this paint, like, we know Bogut is nasty, but Steven Adams is just as nasty.
I agree. I like Steven Adams. Listen. I'm gonna ease off on the Mitch McGary hype beast, and only because we've seen a small sample size. Okay, but. The Bobby Schmurder, Reggie Jackson, Dion Waiters conundrum is one that Oklahoma City must monitor because you don't want that exploding on you in the playoffs, okay? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where they both get into a Jack 'em Joe contest.
And I think the guy that's the wild card for Oklahoma City that I like, he's a good defender, Andre Robinson. He may not be good offensively, which you don't need him to be, but the things that he may do to Klay Thompson, which they showed in that game when they played them, when he's guarding those guys like that, those tall guards, I watched him guard DeMar DeRozan one game. And DeMar had the hardest time because he not only is he 6'7", he's fast. He can run with these boys. And I think, honestly, Klay Thompson's the man. Hey, anybody telling you go stay win a championship, fine, I believe it. But I still think there's a bad matchup. And this team, I don't know why, they remind me of that Mavericks team in 07, 08 when they won all those games. They shot a lot of threes. Remember that Mavericks team? They shot a lot of threes. They had Josh Howard out there hitting a lot of threes. Jason Terry was hitting threes. Everybody was hitting threes on that team. And then all of a sudden they came to the playoffs. And it was a team with a lot of athletic players. Guess what Oklahoma City has from 1 to 3? Perry Jones. All these guys that are athletic, they can run the court and do things. And that's a scary matchup.
Can Scott Brooks manage that?
I think the talent beats in that situation. Talent wins those games. Like you can't. Like we can bring Scott Brooks if they lose, they get swept because he just didn't do it right. Well, if they win, the talent wins. Because although we all agree coaching wins you games, like okay, if Oklahoma City has Rick Carlisle, they're the best team in the West, right?
Even with the health issues this year, I think they may be fifth or sixth.
Because to me, I think that man like that. I don't know about Golden State. Like I like Draymond Green, but I just don't know about that side. See, they got a lot of issues. To me, it's too easy to say, hey man, they got 42 wins, Chris. You shouldn't be worried about them, and they got it made. To me, I think it's different when you playing a team once instead of playing them 7 times. And by the way, don't get me wrong, Scott Brooks may not be the greatest coach in the world, but Oklahoma City is battle tested. And that's nothing you got to worry about with Golden State. They only got how many years of playoff experience?
They've got 2, and they won 1. I think
and they didn't really play the best teams in the playoffs.
But still though, I think it's merit. I think there's some merit to that. Okay.
And to me, I just think that they ran into that. But to me, honestly, being the number 1 seed, number 2 seed in the West, you're in a bad situation. Because you got Oklahoma City and San Antonio, who arguably before the season started, with no injuries, were the best 2 teams, if I'm not mistaken, that we all were talking about. We're talking about 2 of the best teams that were supposed to be your matchup. And to me, Golden State is in trouble. Just like I think Atlanta could run into the situation second round. So to me, I think that these teams got to figure out what I know it sounds crazy because they all got 42, 43 wins, but this is a tough, man, it's tough out there for these teams. And I think that Golden State, I don't like their size and I don't like that they shoot a lot. And I know a lot of people say, well, they got 2 of the best shooters in the world, but everything changes week to week with that, especially in the playoffs. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, we'll see. I know DA never been telling me, man, Golden State, they play good ball. I'll not give them credit. But at the end, bad habits are going to show. And to me, you teach.
It's going to take the Spurs.
Even if let's say if the Mavericks got rolling.
No.
You don't think the Mavericks could be a scary team in the playoffs?
Yeah, they could be a scary team in the playoffs. But again, listen, I can't think of a team maybe short of Memphis in the first round that's like almost matchup proof. Okay? I don't know if Memphis wants Memphis wouldn't care about seeing Oklahoma City again. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't care about the Mavericks or the Spurs. Who else? Who's lingering in that 6th seed? Is that the Clippers?
I think the only team
I don't want to see the Clippers.
Well, I say this, according to one of the Memphis coaches, he was saying the Mavericks, the only problem with the Mavericks is because they have certain things that I don't know. It's just
not enough interior.
Yeah, and it's a weird matchup.
And Mike Conley will force Monte to guard him, therefore taking away from things that Monte can do on offense.
And I think Courtney Lee becomes hell for the Mavericks. And Tony Allen. Tony Allen's going to eliminate Monte. So that's it. We talked about our basketball trades. Man, our DA to finish it up or close us out for the night because we went straight through it.
Look, couple things, okay? Reggie. What school did Kyrie go to? Okay. Duke. Not Kentucky, right?
Not Kentucky.
Not coached by Calipari when Rod Strickland was an assistant coach.
It's Fade to Black, ain't it?
That is Fade to Black, but they keep...
Nobody corrected him, though.
All right. I'm still fascinated by this veteran combine. I don't think I have not forgot about the veteran combine. Michael Sam has applied. Little hype beast rumors of Vince Young and Tim Tebow, but no. And yes, I'm watching it on TV.
Cool. I'm watching it too. I would love to watch that. Like, I want to see players that's like, I guess, had at least 4 or 5 seasons in. Like, that's what I'm thinking the requirements are, Dave.
What?
At least 4 or 5 seasons in. Wouldn't that consider you a veteran? Shouldn't that qualify you to do the veteran combine?
I don't know about required, but listen, you want to check? You might want to apply. Okay? By the way, Fat Jameis poster, the Fat Jameis picture that Chris popped up on Google Hangouts, his quarterback coach, George Whitfield, said that was from January. right after the Rose Bowl game was played.
But they don't play till September though. So why is this a big deal?
What else are we gonna do during draft season?
Because
especially when you only got 2 big boy quarterback prospects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody else is at just some regular position. There isn't even like a dynamic wide receiver out here, other than Amari Cooper, which everybody predicts greatness for.
So another snooze fest for this draft.
I don't think it's because there will be ways to trump up stories. You got to wait till the combine once one like the Porsche winner, like the dude is gonna win the Adidas Porsche, like he's gonna get hype beasted. Okay,
they say this running back class is a lot better too.
Yeah, I don't see none of them. He got a first round grade on him.
Melvin.
Nope. Duke Johnson,
Melvin.
I don't look. I'm not 5'8" Duke Johnson. Nah,
Melvin Gordon probably got the biggest.
He's probably the best running back out here. Probably only one worth the first round grade.
Yeah, it has to take a team like Dallas that's probably gonna lose DeMarco and say, hey, why not?
Okay. I saw a headline of Randall Cobb wants $9 million a year. If you're Green Bay, what do you do about that?
Nah, B.
Nope.
Just
let him go.
He's going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out.
25-year-old wide receiver, unrestricted free agent. Okay.
You wonder, like, if that team is like the Dallas, like, you know how Dallas was with Laurent. Hey, we could just plug in somebody his size and do the same skill.
Yeah, especially if you're looking at the emergence of Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Okay. So he may be enough to let him hit the free agent market.
Yeah, keep that.
I think Doug Free got cut too.
Contract
voided.
Still the same thing, right?
So he.
But he's 30-31. Plus they have Jeremy Parnell there, so they have depth.
They look
there.
at the draft too, and also they didn't pick up Henry Melton, which I don't.
I'm not surprised about. He didn't do anything this year.
Not
surprised about that at all.
Which brings up more lingering rumors about
Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Which I think if they do that,
let the Donkey Kong hype beasting begin.
If everything plays out,
okay.
Dallas ends up with Donkey Kong Sue. What does that put them going into the season?
Favorites in the division. I'll just leave it at that because I don't know what the offense looks like next year. You have an idea. You don't know what the back seven looks like. Hell, you don't even know what the front seven looks like. There are certain, contractually people that will come back.
Ronald claims now they got some legal things with him because of this house fire.
Yeah, it looked very much like an insurance grab.
Yeah, they said it was not an accident.
And
also,
at all. He's concussion. They're worried about that. Since all the players are complaining about concussions, guess what? Dallas has done a little research. He's had too many concussions. So guess what?
That might be something worth to Okay.
Yeah. So
we have Champions League soccer back tomorrow. Highlighted by Paris Saint-Germain hosting the Chelsea Blues. Might find your boy at a local pubbery having a cider, watching the soccer. We are also a week away from 1886, The Order, in video game news. Little King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table deal looks pretty promising.
Yeah, we got that. And, of course, we got Mavs games this weekend. Mavs will be back. We got Houston, and we got the great LLR
As
Sunday.
I start my recruiting pitch for LLR, first of all, we got to get him out the man once.
Jordan, talk to me yet?
I'm going to ask him, has he not approached you with a deal? Maybe LLR staying true. Maybe there's an ownership stake in there.
Maybe so.
Yeah, that. And we got Big 12.
Yes, next month, Big 12 championship.
Big 12 women's.
Big 12 women's.
Get reunited with my girlfriend, Coach Moki.
Hey.
What else we got? That's it?
That's it. Outside of
should be it. Kicks 101 March 1st.
Yeah, we got Kicks 101, which they'll probably call in one day to talk about that. That's gonna be really good. We got March. We got a lot of little show events. We got Oklahoma. We've been invited. The show's been invited to Oklahoma.
Well, look at you guys.
So we mad to kidnap Dave. We already got.
You're not taking me north. You got my representative. He's good.
So we'll have to figure that out. Maybe get him to go to the storage room, make him a live, say Lance Last Revolution will be there.
Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, maybe they get on sales pitch.
I can't do that as a member of the media, right?
You can.
Okay.
You can. I've already had my talk with LeBron. Maybe I got one on the 10th. We got that too. That's going to be great.
It's 53. Let's get out of here.
So we got to get out of here.
We'll see y'all next week. Mo Sports Talk is the website. Mo Sports Talk is all of your social media needs.
Check out his latest blog too, by the way, everybody. That's good stuff.
3-on-3 tournament. That's all I asked for. Bring back Horace. Mute Reggie Miller.
Perfect.
We'll see y'all next week. Mo Sports Talk on the afterparty.com.